Oh, the Shut Your Mouth Lounge. And today's episode is what is it 119 or 129?
It's 120.
Oh, shit, my count was off. Damn. All right. Well, at least you're correct where I can't be, or at least where I'm not. I don't know. Everything's just off the rails the last couple months,
Everything's
man.
falling apart. You can control me. You can control me.
Man, shit's just been getting crazy. You know that
Yeah.
it's because I
Yeah.
mean the last.
Like
It's like
last
we've
week.
been doing
You
that.
go ahead. Sorry, I keep cutting you off.
No, it's fine. For like the last half decade, really, it's just kind of been like we're characters in a cartoon who keep saying, "Well, at least it can't get worse,"
Yeah, this
and
is
it
fine,
does.
dog.
Yeah, it's like, well, okay, COVID's not gone away. It's 3 years now. Is it 3 years? I guess it's closer to 2 years. It's 2 years now, and it's not gone away. They're suspecting it'll go away, but then they're suspecting, oh wait, it'll come back after it goes away. And also now, massive war between Russia and Ukraine. Russia is doing big war crimes, and the rest of the world says, you know what? We can't be asked to really help. So as long as you just stick to bullying the little guy, nobody cares.
Yeah.
And
It
oh
it it
boy,
it, it was really nice. When that was happening. I was up until like 5 a.m. I want to say. Just before it happened, and then they shot at that one fucking nuclear reactor. That's like the biggest one in Europe, and it caught or the power system caught fire, and I didn't sleep that night. Because I was waiting for Soon to update me on what the fuck's going on because I would like to I would like to hopefully have some new news of my nuclear fallout death before it happens.
yeah,
Like I would like to be able to at least be like, hey guys, I guess I loved y'all, and then just be gone.
that's the point where you don't even bother to get the car. You just fucking hoof it on foot. I'm gonna run my ass
Oh
faster
no,
than this
no, no, no.
radiation.
The thing is that with the radiation is that there's no fucking running away. Like that it would have genuinely just been I send y'all send y'all a message, the freaking goodbye message, and then just die probably.
Yeah, it's not entirely consistent, of course, because there are some people who get exposed to radiation and just like come out fine. An extreme minority, of course, but like I remember that being a whole thing with Chernobyl rescue crews because there were so many people who were involved in the Chernobyl stuff, and like their skin peeled off and shit. And if you touched them, your skin would peel off and shit like that.
Ah, yeah, yeah,
There
yeah.
were a couple guys that just like walked out fine, lived to be 80 years old, no real health problems.
I mean,
Like what?
I think that the thing with that is just like how far were you at the point of fallout, and did you come in contact with people who were closer?
I mean, like I'm talking guys who were there when it went off and were submerged in the radioactive water
Oh,
in just regular clothes. Yeah.
oh, all right.
And like one of the guys like was actually carrying out one of the other nuclear physicists who was there and did get fucked up by the radiation, and he came out relatively fine. It was weird.
I imagine so.
Yeah. Yeah. But the two guys who were just barely involved with it, that were in charge of just shutting the project down and never got that close to the reactor, the general who was there and the scientist who was in charge of it. Oh yeah, they both got super cancer. It's like fuck, radiation is just so unpredictable.
Yeah, boy.
Either which way, yeah, weird shit going on in the world lately.
Yeah.
Anyways, on a lighter note, Hattie, got anything coming on your channel this week?
Yes. Justice's cock.
What is it? What?
Just a big close up of Justice's cock. No, it's Guilty Gear 1. My review of Guilty Gear 1 is coming out.
Oh, so it is a big close up of Justice's cock.
Yeah, more or less.
Oh boy, yeah, I've already seen a sneak preview of that one. So yeah, get hyped.
And then
Is
that's
there?
it for my channel,
Oh,
I think.
all right. On my channel, I'm not planning on doing anything. Yeah, I'm not planning on doing anything. If somehow I just bolt of lightning strikes my brain and makes me go jump out of my fucking seat and go like, "Oh, I need to make a video." Then shit will happen. But unless that happens, don't plan on anything. And what
Yeah.
is coming out on the group channel
So on the group channel, we have the last part of Dead by Daylight for now. Then,
for now?
yeah, then we have episode 38 of Fighting Game Czar. And finally,
Yeah.
and finally, we have part 6 of Hitman 2.
Yes. That wound up being a rather surprising one.
Yeah, speaking of Hitman 2, since the series is done on our end, words, I did go ahead and try to make a best of thumbnail, but like originally I wanted to make a collage to make a reference collage of some moments that I wanted to draw. Then I realized I'm way too fucking lazy to draw all of that shit. So so instead, I made a mishmash, and here's the I guess I'll put it into logos, whatever. So here's what we got out of it. Just the best moments of the Hitman playthrough, in my opinion, I guess. I wanted to include the door, but I didn't know how to put the door in. Like the door was a highlight for me. But if you just see John Hitman crouching next to a door, you won't get it. Is the problem? So,
Man. That was such a cinematic shot when you killed that guy on the balcony.
yeah,
Man. Yeah, that was that Hitman series worked out a lot better than I imagined, and it worked out very well considering like the scheme going in was like, "Oh, I know everything about this game. I'll help you," and then it was like I was barely out for the Paris level, and I didn't know jack shit for every level going forward.
yeah. I mean,
Stuff just works out.
yeah, the funny thing for me in that series is that we went in with like you know everything about the game. I don't like the game just because I don't have the patience to properly play it, or at least play it in what feels like proper to me. Which like the last two levels is how I usually play the game, which is why it took us fucking 2 hours to beat those two levels. But
Yeah.
but you know, in the end, we got things out of it. We got John Bonnie. That was great because instead of like, I had to make a picture of the end screen of Hitman to get a reference for the pose. I had to take a picture of a guard for the clothes, and I actually had to source a picture of an actual rabbit. Yeah, I wish I could have photoshopped it together so it was legitimately just fucking John Hitman as a rabbit, but I don't have enough Photoshop skills to pull that off. Not while also changing his outfit.
Yeah, that sounds kind of hard.
I mean, you would legitimately need to like you would legitimately need a guard body and rabbit head, and then it's not John Hitman. It needs to be in the pose. So like you could do it. You would just need to have like the models from the game or something similar to
Yeah.
actually pull it off properly. And that's not counting how the actual end screen picture of John Hitman is a render, which means it's not a fucking model. They actually drew that shit.
Yeah.
So or if not drew, at least they took a very high quality model and then put that on their lighting stuff and then made an actual environment for it to make a picture of. And that model doesn't exist in the game because it's too high poly if it's a model.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway. So that's it for the group channel, I guess.
And with that out of the way, what have you been up to the past week?
Well, I have been doing quite a bit of stuff, so I guess I'll get the drawing things out of the way. The drawings, words, they fail me. But yeah, you saw Doctor Mood. I don't even know if that was this week or last week, but you saw Doctor Mood.
Yes, I did.
I don't think anybody got that joke.
it
Like I don't think anybody
was still
noticed.
it was still a fun drawing of Doom either which way.
But yeah, no, I mean I don't think people actually noticed that I flipped his mouth. so that he's smiling.
Mm, I
That's
did.
all right. Nice. But yeah, I guess the JoJo freaking the JoJo announcement also came at the right time because I've had a very JoJo week, I suppose.
You
So
you
first,
killed a vampire?
yes. Also, actually, I'm not gonna put this here because I'm gonna fucking delete this. This may be as bad as the fucking Sonic drawing. You know the one. Uh,
I do. What?
go to the recording text channel, I guess. So yeah, I wanted to get practice in drawing muscle, for which I used JoJo as a reference because of the dumb poses JoJo has. Araki needs to draw muscles very apparently, and it saves me the time of actually having to look at muscle reference, pretty much. So yeah,
The quads!
yeah.
My god, those are the most ludicrous quads I've ever seen.
I'm gonna be honest. While I was drawing his quads, I was thinking of early 2000s Triple H. So is it apparent?
He looks like a pillar man.
He is. He's the pillar cat.
Of course he is. Okay.
Uh. So yeah, I didn't know if it was too much or not. It was good. It was good. Freaking practice drawing muscle though. But yeah. Also, previously to that, I did also draw this.
Interesting. What's with the L?
Killer Kerm has already read that letter.
Uh, okay. Very heavy attention to detail. I'm very confused.
Well, my mind just made a couple of leaps. So Yoshigaki Kira's stand is called Killer Queen. And a while back, I drew
Okay.
Kermit. A while back, I drew Kermit doing Killer Queen's pose because Killer Kerm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he's still doing the pose in this new drawing. But I figured, hey, if Kermit is Killer Queen, then wouldn't Miss Piggy be Yoshikage Kira?
I don't know that much about JoJo's or Muppets lore.
I don't know that much about Muppets lore. I just know that they hang out a lot. So hey, good enough. And yeah, that's about it. So my mom saw me drawing this, and her one her one critique was that Miss Piggy's tits are not big enough.
And did you tell her that she's dressed up as a male character?
No,
Eh.
but yeah. What else did I do regarding this stuff? Not much, I don't think. I don't remember. Like, I don't remember actually finishing drawings. I did start a couple of other ones, but like those are gone. Like if I don't finish a drawing when I started, then it's just forsaken. It's probably not never going to fucking be a thing.
Forsaken.
Yeah. I guess a couple of
Okay.
other freaking things that like we did discuss me wanting to change my avatar in YouTube and whatever and what to do with the background. I may have figured out a thing, but I want to show you some of the failed things as well. Or the one failed one, I guess. So
Okay.
I made this because I legitimately did not know what colors to use. It actually helped deciding that. But yeah, I didn't like it because I felt like it was too. It wasn't me.
Uh, see a particular problem with it other than that because the color scheme is so similar to the scheme you already used for your little avatar character man, he kind of blends in a bit too much, except for the purple.
Yeah. My thing is that, like, I get why people have their flags in their avatars or whatever because they want to represent their sexuality or their identity or whatever. But like, and I do care about that sort of stuff. At the same time, it I don't know. It strikes me as a thing of like, I guess it's a thing of I associate people making their avatars have a tint of like of so and so flag or like the pride flag or whatever. I associate that with people who are armchair activists, more or less. Like, the people who are like, oh, I support this group, and then does nothing. Like, I changed my picture to have a pride flag thing that obviously means that I actually help gay people while also doing nothing.
I mean, I guess that can be part of it, but it's not like I mean, there comes a certain point with some of those things where you kind of just don't want to just judge like Hitler ate sugar,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
Oh man.
But yeah, but that did actually help because I saw the black and I thought the black was too dark to actually complement it well enough, or to go with my style, my aesthetic that I go for with the videos. But it ended up having making an avatar for both of my channels, which I don't know when I will actually put to use, but here they are. I think these turned out pretty nice.
Yeah, I like both of them.
Thank you. Yeah,
The persona filter has an interesting effect on the second one. I think it does miss out on the color naturally because that's just kind of how the filter works. But I think that for having two channels, I think it's good to have both.
yeah. The thing with that filter, the funny part to me is that when even when things are fine, a threshold or whatever. Well, in GIMP it's called threshold in in Clip
Oh,
Studio
you're
Pro.
saying threshold? I was like, what is trash hold?
Yeah, threshold. But yeah,
Okay, continue before I so rudely interrupted.
in Clip Studio Pro, I forget what it's properly called, but it's mono something or other because like it's two colors or like it's by on it's by something or other. That just reminded me of something else, but okay, then let's not go down that way. Fuck. So yeah, you know, there's this. I don't even know if it's a rap song or if it was like an R&B song or whatever. But I heard a guy do a thing where he says nothing but two in different languages and like different synonyms and stuff like that. And one of those synonyms that he used was bisexual. And then he just yells, that means two. No, it fucking doesn't. What the fuck do you mean?
Well, I, you know what? I don't know. I don't. I'm not actually quite sure what bi means.
It means two. Like the bi also separately does mean two. Bisexual does not mean two.
Could mean that has interest in two sexes, though.
I suppose so, yeah. Uh, but yeah, anyway. So yeah, that filter has an interesting effect because even when something is properly anti-aliased, it takes the anti-aliasing off, so shit becomes really pixely. And I don't know if you can see that on the. Oh, never mind. I fucking deleted it already because it doesn't need to be here. Anyway, yeah. So, what else did I do? Well, I did read some more of the Captain America compilation that I have. It's
All
all
right.
it's all like all old stuff, which I'm fine
Well,
with.
I
Like,
imagine not super old, right?
I don't know. It's let's see. It's Captain America 247 to 255.
Okay, yeah, that's definitely long after World War II.
Yeah. Oh no, no, Captain America does not beat up Hitler yet.
No.
or anymore. I don't know which one to use really. He may be like you know. I'm saying that he probably will when he comes back as Mecha Hitler. But anyway, yeah. There was a one of like so far. There's been one like overarching story, and then once that finished, there was a one-off comic, and I actually enjoyed the one-off comic more. And I don't know why. I guess it's just like I guess it's that in the overarching plot, he fights a person named Dragon Man or Dragon or I don't fucking know because the translation is weird. Sometimes he's Dragon
Yeah.
Man, sometimes he's Dragon. I mean, technically those two are very similar, but not the same. So yeah, he fights that person, and then he also fights like this guy who is a robot and makes robots that look like superheroes.
Oh boy, there's a lot of villains that do that.
Yeah, but this guy is special because the entire reason he started killing people, you see, is to lure Captain America in so that he can force Captain America to kill him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the ending of the arc. Captain America kills the guy without knowing that the guy like the guy had his psyche put into a computer, but then after living that way for a while, got sick of life. So he spent a lot of time trying to figure out what hero would actually like what hero he could fool into killing him, and he decided Captain America will do. So he yeah so he starts killing people with robots, or at least like robbing, I guess, people with robots, and becomes a beginning of problem that they send Captain America after him, and eventually he leads Captain America to the computer that he lives in. Doesn't tell Captain America that he is in the computer, and then he smashes the computer, thinking that it would just shut off all of the robots that he's piloting. But it turns out the guy was inside the computer. So before I guess he has a dying speech, but also in a thing that if you smash it, it turns off immediately, which which was a really nice touch. But yeah, he's like, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, Captain. I knew that if I told you I want to die, you wouldn't kill me. So I fooled you into killing me. Ha! And then dies.
You killed me, stupid.
Yeah. And
You're
then
fucked.
and then Captain America leaves the lab, going like, you know, I know that guy fucking hated living. It was a waking hell for him. But every life is sacred, so I didn't want to kill him.
Yeah. I've had, on my own time, I've actually got something to say about Captain America killing people, but I'll get to that when I get to that.
All right. Oh, did you read Captain Hydra?
No, no, God, no.
But yeah, that I did want to point out that there are some very interesting panels in these comics that I really like, where instead of actually doing coloring and shading properly, they went for you know how the backgrounds would be in Ed and Eddie, where it would be shaded and colored in one single color, and then it would just that would be the aesthetic. They do that, but in comic
Yeah,
form, and I really like that.
yeah.
Like sometimes it doesn't make sense because there's a panel with coloring it properly. Then there's one of those panels, and then there's another panel with full color and shit. And the environment doesn't change. Like they don't go
Oh,
like there is no, because usually when they do stuff like that, they justify it with a change in environment. Like they go into a dark place where there's only one source of light. So obviously that source of light would be a single color, easily represented at least, and then a lot of
yeah,
darkness. But no, this one literally just does it for style, and I'm fine with it.
yeah.
And then what else is there to say? Oh yeah, the one-off comic was about Captain America getting elected, and I was getting real Captain Hydra flashbacks, even flash forwards, I guess.
Oh, Okay. I didn't even know he is that from the main universe or is it from the Ultimate Universe? Because I thought in the Ultimate Universe he got elected president and he got made into Colonel America or something stupid like
Oh, he
that.
didn't get elected. The whole the story is that he saves our campaign office from a terrorist group or something like that, and then the person leading the party um announces that Captain America is running for him, even though Captain America didn't agree to shit.
Yeah.
And the whole comic is people going, "Hey, Captain America, why won't you be your president? You look like a swell guy, even though nobody knows who you are." And then Captain America replies, "You don't know who I am. I could be an actually asshole. I could actually be a real big asshole, and you wouldn't know." And that's the entire comic back and forth, more or less, just with different people. Beast, freaking, uh, breaks into the Avengers villa to be like, "Yo, Cap, I heard you're running for president. I'm gonna be your mascot."
Of course he does.
And then Captain America turns him down. Then the Avengers call a meeting together so that so that Vision, Iron Man, and Wasp can have a three-way back and forth argument about whether or not Captain America should actually run for president. Then Captain America tells them that he's had enough, leaves because he didn't even really get to have a word in this argument concerning him. So he just leaves, goes to his old school from when he was a child, has a flashback that leads you to believe that he will actually run for president, calls together a thing, and they have this gigantic, like, fucking building-sized Captain America poster and everything. And he goes up to this podium and he just says, "America needs a good leader, and I am not one," and just leaves. And it was great.
Mic drop.
Yeah. Like, I'm not the biggest fan of Captain America because the whole patriotic thing is lost on me, considering I'm not from America. But still, that kind of made me like Captain America just because of how fucking, like, the way he dealt with it was funny, even if he himself isn't particularly funny. Like, he is a very clean cut guy, both because he's actually from the 30s and also because he's supposed to be a fucking soldier. But he
Yeah.
he has his moments. Oh yeah, the
Yeah,
the one thing.
Cap.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, you go ahead. I'll hit Cap when I get to him.
All right. The one thing I really appreciate about Cap now is that they made him really, really relatable just by one thing, which is that he's never, like, okay. So I thought that Captain America is kind of lame because the way I've seen him shown in most media, he's just a guy who fights normally and then also has a shield that he throws sometimes, and that's not the most interesting when you also have, like, fucking Venom, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there is one thing that those media omit that really makes what he does be a big undertaking that is actually kind of amazing, which is that he's never fucking well slept. Dude is constantly, like, because he chose to make his fake civilian life be as a freelance artist. He never fucking sleeps, and then that makes him being able to do kung fu and throwing the shield around more impressive to me.
Yeah, I think that's something that enough writers don't acknowledge is that like Cap is still a human being under the mask, and he sometimes has to be like, "Holy shit, this guy's wearing so many fucking hats that he's gotta be going kind of nuts in there."
Yeah. But yeah, I still haven't finished the freaking comic because I keep getting distracted by other stuff. But I have been enjoying the like certain parts of the overarching arc and also these more one off ish comics that they've had since then.
Yeah.
And then what else? Well, I did play Final Fantasy fucking Jack Kills Chaos. The demo for
Oh,
it. I don't remember the actual title. But
Final
yeah.
Fantasy, we have glowing crystals. Did we just become best
Yeah.
friends?
No, no, no. Final Fantasy JO crystals. Uh
Holy shit, it's snowing like Christmas out there. What the hell's going on?
Global warming.
You're telling me it's snowing sideways.
All right. That's certainly a thing.
Oh my god.
So yeah. Uh friggin' Final Fantasy One's remake is just Neo.
Hmm.
Like just Neo.
Neo as in Team Ninja Neo?
Yes.
Weird.
I mean, are
Okay.
they not doing this game as well? Because it literally just feels like I'm pretty sure
Oh, you're right.
some of the animations are fucking reused.
Yeah, it's Team Ninja. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you like Neo, you probably will like Stranger of Paradise. That's the name. It took me this long to actually remember the name.
And if you like Final Fantasy, you probably will not like Stranger of Paradise.
Yeah, if you like Final Fantasy or are fucking sick of everything being Souls, get fucked. Here's more Noctis.
Yeah. If you oh man, that if somehow this channel's still around like years down the line, at some point it would be a delight to make Mike play that, if just for a single session.
Just so like that recording will be nothing but Mike yelling.
Yeah.
Like we won't even be able to get to like he will call upon us, but we won't be able to get a word in.
Yeah. Anyways, I've been talking too much. Alex, what do you think? Oh, god damn it. I fucking think, I hate when they do that because this, that, and another. Oh, I've been
Yeah,
talking too much. Addy, what do you think? No, I hate that. And so I
yeah,
love Mike, but I find it hilarious how he always does that. Like, I talk too much. And it's like, well, the onus is not on you to shut up so much as it is on us to interrupt you, really.
yeah. We're just too nice. We need to be more bigger assholes.
Well, the thing is that I think I mentioned this in passing to Mike before. Recording with Mike is actually an extraordinary convenience. Because we've all had recordings that go on for hours and hours, and we've said everything we can say. And not only do we run out of shit to say, which is always just awkward, but also your brain gets stretched and tired. But when you're recording with Mike, you don't have to worry about that. Because if you just need to rest for a little bit, you can safely shut up for 10 minutes while he talks by himself. And then you're like, all right, I'm ready. Get me off the bench, coach. I'm ready to play again.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. There was one part of the Stranger of Paradise demo that did surprise me, which is when they have an introductory fight with Tiamat. Then you beat Tiamat, and you cut to Jack being dead, going through the freaking rice fields, or no, not the rice fields, the freaking the fucking whatever, the fields, the golden fields from like it's just the scene from the Gladiator. It's just the scene from the Gladiator, and fucking
Oh,
and My Way starts playing from Frank Sinatra, and they cut it off, and they cut it off
what?
before he says My Way.
What the fuck? What?
Yeah,
Why did you start playing Frank Sinatra during a Final Fantasy game?
I don't know, but it was great. But the best part is once again,
Wait,
yeah,
isn't his ringtone like Linkin Park or something?
it's Godsmack.
Oh god damn. Why'd they shell out the money for these licenses?
I don't know. The music, the actual Final Fantasy music that's in this Final Fantasy game, is the usual Final Fantasy quality, which is to say it's actually good. So But
Of
they
all the things we gotta tell Mike that they, for whatever reason, the first cutscene shows the main character dead while My Way play.
it's not the first
Oh my!
cutscene. It's the first cutscene featuring the main character. The first actual cutscene introduces Chaos, and that has Final Fantasy music, and it actually looks like Final Fantasy. And I'm like, I was not impressed because that's what, like, a good quality cutscene is what I expect out of Final Fantasy. Like, they've been doing that shit for a while. If a Final Fantasy game has bad cutscenes, then they fucked up real bad. But freaking, they do that. They introduce Chaos. Chaos kills a bunch of guys. There's a lot of gore. End scene.
Of course there is.
Yeah, end scene. Cut to Jack and his teammates fighting Tiamat for no reason. Alright, beat Tiamat. Tiamat dies. Jack gets sucked up by the darkness. And then he appears in the gladiator, freaking, in that one gladiator scene with the field. And My Way starts playing. And they cut it off before he gets to My Way. Like, he says, My, and then cut.
Oh, that's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Like, I get setting the tone and shit. It's real cinematic. People usually, when you license out the freaking the music, you at least cut after the big title drop of the song because that's how it's structured.
Yeah. And the fucking it's not even mise en scene. It's like the Tarantino-esque out of order scene editing. On top of that, like the I I know this is Team Ninja we're talking about, and Team Ninja, love them or hate them, Team Ninja has no class. And so, like, did it occur to them at some point they were making a game in the Final Fantasy license before they put a main character in wearing black, shirt, black jeans, and that shitty haircut, and he has Godsmack, and plays Frank Sinatra, and they rip off Gladiator, and it's Pulp Fiction esque editing. So this is a game made by a Japanese developer and a Japanese series that seems intent on copying everything that was popular in the West throughout the early 2000s. And
Yeah.
Frank Sinatra is also here for some reason.
Yeah. I wish he was playable.
Fuck playable, make him a boss.
Yeah.
Like, you
Frank, purveyor of chaos.
imagine you get to the throne of chaos, right? And like it's like what was that? Like the tree throne from like Final Fantasy V or whatever. But you get there and instead of chaos, it's just Frank Sinatra.
Yeah. And then, and then you have to beat him by doing a better cover of Fly Me to the Moon.
You beat him by summoning Don Rickles, and Don Rickles calms him down. Then it's over. You,
Yeah.
you can't really beat Sinatra. The only way is to calm him down.
But yeah, so that happens. And then after that scene, like the gladiator scene ends, or you think so, and then you go into a tutorial, which is also still in the gladiator fields, but now it's playable, and it's roughly like a 10 by 10 centimeter block that you can actually walk in, and it's just a shit ton of tutorials.
I am so disappointed that My Way does not keep playing through the tutorial.
I wish it would have actually made it bearable, but that's too much to ask for.
Also,
But
like
yeah,
My
yeah.
Way, famously sad song. Why would you play it for the death of a character the player has not actually really met yet?
I don't know. I guess that's like a fake out thing, and then later in the story they reuse it, and my way actually fucking finishes. Then when they cut it off faster, I don't know what would be better.
I did.
Yeah. My way should play during the last boss. Like Jack kills Chaos finally, and he's just they're doing the Kratos beats up Zeus cutscene from Chaos's perspective, like they did with Zeus, and then my way starts playing.
It cuts straight to the end though, like with the crazy big instrumentals and all that.
Yeah. And then the post credits scene, Fly Me to the Moon starts playing, and Bayonetta is there. Cause fuck you, mainly.
it, it plays that the credit sequence from Bayonetta 1 of her just doing the big dance.
Yeah. Uh,
But instead, it's a girl from Dead or Alive.
oh, it's Kasumi.
Yeah.
And then if this
Wait,
says, yeah,
what is the deal with Team Ninja?
I don't
Because
know. Yeah,
Team Ninja is one of the most bizarre developers in the industry today. Like, they are just, like, so all over the place with just the weird, random shit they've done.
I mean,
Uh,
I just wish they actually made a game for this game instead of just taking Neo and just painting it. You know,
eh.
uh, the
No, I mean,
three,
if they
yeah,
worked out a deal ahead of time with Square, like, hey, what if we just paste the Final Fantasy assets over Neo, like, and we make loads of money because you guys are super into remaking everything right now, you know?
yeah, and people are
I
really
would
into
not
copying
entirely
Souls.
blame the hustle, though. It's the results are questionable.
I mean, like, I will gladly shit on Neo because I did not enjoy Neo. Neo is the best Souls clone I've played so far.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of good Souls games that weren't made by From.
Uh, I'll get to that because I also played freaking Living Shell or whatever the fuck that Souls clone.
Mortal Shell.
Yeah, that one. I also played a bit of that one, and I'm gonna. I have some thoughts on it. That, like, aside from the ones that I had when I played it last time. But yeah, freaking Stranger of Paradise is boring. Like, that's someone who didn't enjoy Neo because of all the stats and shit. I can't fucking force myself to give a shit. Like, legitimately, I found myself going through the demo, going, when is this demo going to end? And I didn't even finish it because that's how
Meh.
fucking bored I was. Because, like, if I want to play Neo, I own the gold edition of Neo 1. If I feel like playing Neo, I can just download and play Neo. I don't need to play
Yeah.
Neo with Jack Darkness, man. So yeah, it's I thought the idea interesting of the whole thing. Like, they do seem to, like, there does actually seem to be an interesting setup with how Jack is probably actually Garland from the future, or like it's a timeline loop or whatever, because like, not only are there differences between this game's story and the
Wait,
first game, but they also pointed out.
was Garland a Final Fantasy 1 character, or was he Final Fantasy 4?
I think Garland turns into chaos.
Does he? Shit. I might be getting him confused with X Death as well. His last name is Jack Garland, isn't it?
They never I mean, we don't know because they all have amnesia.
Okay, Garland is the final is the main villain of Final Fantasy 1, who of course just winds up giving way to chaos.
Yeah. So yeah, freaking, like, Jack is probably Garland in one way or the other. I don't know. They did seem to allude to it a bit, and also, like, once again, they, like, apparently in the first game, the shards or whatever, the Jo crystals were white, but in this game the Jo crystals are black, and they point that out, that like that's a thing where they don't want to send these group on the mission to kill chaos because their shards are black, whereas the prophecy is like, hey, white shards. So what's up with that?
I see.
And stuff like that. So, the story wise, I could actually see myself being somewhat interested, but the gameplay is so just Neo that I can't fucking bother to go through the gameplay sections to actually get to the story parts.
Well, the wonderful thing is nowadays that you once the game releases, you can wait like half a week and somebody will upload all the cutscenes to YouTube.
Yeah. So yeah, there's that. Mortal Shell. I went into Mortal Shell thinking, hey, I was only just a fucking baby and didn't like dying and whatever. No, that game is boring. Like I can, surprisingly enough, since I played through Neo and also like 4 other Souls games that are not actually made by FromSoft, I am alright at Souls games. Surprisingly enough, but that game starts off in a swamp. That should tell you everything that you need to
Oh,
know.
oh no.
It also apes Souls, from what I can tell. It apes Souls down to the fucking letter. Like the only thing that makes it not Souls is the shell gimmick, and that's it.
Which I assume is kind of itself going to be a ripoff of the humanity mechanic.
No, it's instead of blocking, you can harden your body or your shell. You see, and that and what else? You can get different attributes if you find the different shells, which there are 4 in the game, from what I can tell. But they're hidden between hard fights, and also don't actually do anything until you level them up, from what I can tell. You can also find weapons. There's 4 or 5 different weapons in the game, but they don't drop. You need to find those as well. They're also hidden. So good luck if you don't like the broadsword that you started with. Good fucking luck. Which, hey, I tend to like it. I don't like the broadsword because it has the attacks it has are dumb, and I don't like them. Like they don't fit my playstyle of how I usually do Souls. So
Yeah.
and that's funny because I play Souls either with the fastest weapon or the biggest weapon, and it's just in the middle. It's just in the middle enough. The attacks are just like stinky enough that I can't actually do what I usually do in Souls games. And usually, it would make sense to adapt, but there is no reason for me to adapt. I don't feel, because I get more frustrated getting lost than I get frustrated dying, because I rarely ever die. Because despite
Yeah.
all of this, I am like I can hold my own against like fucking the 3 people at once sometimes. Which this game, like, I don't know how it is in Souls exactly. Like I haven't seen literally every single place where an enemy spawns in Souls. But this game, in this spawn level that you start out in, this game really likes putting in groups of enemies very close by each other, so you would aggro all of them at once, more or less. Where there's at least 2 melee characters and 2 ranged characters in each group, and there's 3 groups around you pretty much at all times. So
Oh.
also
Okay.
also you don't have a ranged attack, from what I could tell.
Uh, oh, yeah. That could make things difficult. Yes.
And also, your parry only parries sometimes, because you need to build meter to it for it to properly parry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Could you run that by me again? I didn't quite get all of it. What'd you say?
So you know how when you do a parry in Souls games, if you time it right against human opponents, they will get staggered.
Yes.
There's 2 kinds of parries in the game. You have the normal parry, which you do when you don't have meter, and the normal parry doesn't stagger.
Oh.
And if you have meter, then it staggers.
Oh.
So parrying is fucking useless, is what I'm saying, most of the time.
So I can see why they did that. Because Dark Souls 1, there was one boss in the entire game that could be parried, right? And it was the final boss. And the final boss of Dark Souls 1 is notorious for the fact that he is piss easy if you parry him. And so Souls has ever since, like the rest of the Dark Souls games, just outright just got rid of the idea of parrying bosses. But it's always been a thing that, like, well, what if we could make it where you could parry bosses, right? So I think for Mortal Shell, they were like, oh, we finally found the solution. We'll make it where you have to spend meter to do it for all of them. Like, no, 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 you just made parries worse. You haven't made parrying against bosses any better. You just made parrying everyone else worse.
I also don't think you can parry bosses in this game either.
Oh, wow. All right. Well, fuck me then.
Like, obviously, maybe I just stuck with the timing. Like, I don't know. Maybe it is a possibility, and I just wasn't able to pull it off. But from my experience, you can't really parry bosses either, or at least you can't parry the one boss that I actually found in the fucking game, because you're in a fucking swamp that looks the same. from every fucking like they tried to design actual vantage points for you to actually like for you to be able to navigate and stuff. But this rock and that rock looks the same to me. Like there are distinct places that I can tell. Like there is the one tree that has the freaking the respawn lady in it, and there is this one place where the wall is lined with iron. That's two places in the entire fucking bog that you start in. Two places. The rest is
Yeah.
swamp water, trees, and fauna. So
No landmarks.
not really, not that I could tell. Like once again, there were a couple. I saw a couple, but everything like with how these places that are linked together were designed, I couldn't actually tell if I was making progress or not. Like I managed to get a freaking I managed to get one name job once, and he just said outer swamp. Gee, thanks.
Yeah.
Like the game does have
Not gonna lie.
yeah.
Right now, I'm having one of those painful moments where it's like, God, I wish Pink were here because I need to step out and take a piss, but I don't want to leave you just here podcasting by yourself.
Go ahead. I can probably rent for like a minute.
Okay, okay, go ahead, go
All
ahead. Thank
right.
God, thank you.
So yeah, confirmed. I am God.
Oh, 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 okay,
He
oh,
fell.
okay, no, it's fine. Okay.
So yeah. Anyway, uh, one of the big things that I didn't like in Immortal Shell, to keep ranting about that, I suppose, is just this lack of direction that it felt like. I get that that's a Souls thing, and I will bring this up once W is back. Once again, but still, it like there is a sort of thing where lack of direction is fine. Like you know, there's if you have enough landmarks and if the level design is signposted well enough, then you don't really need explicit things like objective markers or the like to actually make make exploration work. Or not, well, no, if it's with the objective markers, it's not really exploration. It's just traversal, like movement through the game work. But yeah, um, uh, but yeah. So aside from that, um, where was I? Fucking out. I lost the fucking thought. So yeah, but Mortar Shell, Mortar Shell, Mortal Shell, fails in this, in my opinion, just because of how samey everything felt. Like obviously, if I've only been in the swamp area that you start out in, and in the outer swamp area, that is literally just the same area, but the edges of it. Obviously, I did not go far enough to properly tell you if the other areas are well defined enough from that one, and they probably are. Like if they're not, then that's a big fucking disappointment, really. But even within the same areas, there's ways that you can design um the environment to lead people into them or to make them feel like they're progressing towards something, anything, rather than it's just trees and fauna and rocks. And Mortal Shell, I felt like it from my time, it really failed in capturing that. All right, that is gonna be back any second.
Christ, it's like Christmas came light out there. All right,
Nice.
yeah, I'm back.
All right. So yeah, what I said is that while you were gone is that it is possible for games to be able to signpost the player through just freaking like level design, but um Mortal Shell to me seems to fail that just because just by how it felt like I was making no progress, more or less.
Yeah.
Because like once again, I can tell that there were some distinct areas, some, not many, and they were only like I don't know half a minute of trekking, if even that. No, that's probably too much. They were probably like 10 seconds of trekking through the area. But my like the thing that made me be uninterested in actually trying to beat the game is that like there's only so many times I can walk past the same tree and then look at it and go, yeah, that's the same tree that I saw, and then see that there's no other way to go than the tree that I've taken so far.
Mm. This does not sound terribly pleasant. No.
And like there is like do try to help sometimes because there's these ghosts for the weapons and the shells that give you ideas of where those things are. As in they show you an area that's close by, and then they show you an area that's closer to the shell, and then they show you where the shell is exactly. But for example, there's a shell next to or close by to a tree with bats on it. You literally start out in this tree more or less. So I figured I knew where it is. I went to it. I went towards one way. There was nothing there. Like there was only places that I've been to there. I went back to the tree. Went the other way. There was nothing there either. I haven't seen that part yet, but it was literally a dead end. So they couldn't figure out where I would actually need to go. Like I saw some platform, some way to go around the tree, but it was a raised piece of landmass for which you would need to actually um how do I say this? Like you would have to go around and freaking and climb your way through the environment to get up there, which is fine. I tried to do that, but no matter where I circled back, there was no way to actually get anywhere near close to the landmass. And there was no ledges to drop down from or anything like that that I could access.
Huh.
So if
No
I'm being
tunnels going underground that go up there. No tree branches that go onto it. Nothing like
nope.
that. Hmm.
So if I'm beating the game, then I'm gonna get out a guide. And the thing is, like I'm not above using a guide, but even in like the only genre that I use guides in are turn-based JRPGs, and even in those, it's just so freaking I don't miss any items. Like I only well that's rarely actually. That's the secondary
Well,
thing. No, that
missing items can be pretty brutal in Souls as well.
yeah, but actually that's the secondary thing. The primary reason that I use guides is freaking figuring out puzzles that I can't figure out on my own. Like
Yeah.
those are the only times I consult freaking consult guys. Because like even when I was playing Final Fantasy VII, I beat half of the game without using guides. And then the game gave me a thing. It wasn't a puzzle. It was you need to dig uh around the spot. And apparently the spawn location is randomized, and you need to press on pretty much every pixel on screen to dig, and then eventually you will find the item that you're looking for. And
Great.
I would not have been able to figure it out without a guide. You know, like for that part, I was fine to look up because it wasn't really something that I care about. It was just to progress the story. But like I don't like using guides for games or for other games aside from doing like 100% completion runs where I wouldn't like it's just to speed my life up because I don't enjoy fucking brushing my school in against the
Yeah.
environment.
Yeah.
And like I feel like that is a negative against this game for me. If I need to use a guide to play the game at all, because like I'm not gonna claim that I'm some fucking like god gamer and I know I know everything from a glance and fucking have the best like navigational skills. Obviously, I have shit navigational skills, but like fuck, dude. I spent 2 days looking for a way out of this swamp, and there was no fucking way out of this swamp. My favorite part is they have a mini boss or a boss. I don't know. It's a character with a health bar next to the spawning area, and you're obviously supposed to beat it to progress. But I just disregarded it because there's a thing there's a little tunnel that you can crawl through in its area. So I would go trigger the boss, then while it was getting angry, I would just run towards the tunnel and just crawl through and progress through there. And obviously the tunnel, they're going through a tunnel is a cinematic where the camera spawns and looking at your character. So if the game spawns or if the game has someone who patrols that area, they will just attack you from off screen. Which of course there is 2 people patrolling that area.
Right.
Yeah. Like, I don't like Souls. I don't like Souls, the actual Souls games are in the same ballpark as Zelda to me, where like I don't enjoy playing them, and if they had to be made for me to enjoy them, then they would pretty much have to lose everything that makes them unique, because those parts are the things that I dislike, and I'm fine with them not being made for me. The part that pisses me off is everybody else fucking copying them. Because I'm fine with From doing From things, because From usually does good From things. Like, the people who made Souls will probably not fuck Souls up too bad, all things considered.
Yeah.
Everybody else has fucked Souls up pretty bad. like, like no matter where you look, or at least where I look, there has not been a game that has copied Dark Souls that did it in an enjoyable way. End of Fate, Horizon, Assassin's Creed have all failed pretty miserably. Hands of Fate, out of all of those 3, Hands of Fate is the best out of those 3. Fucking,
God of
what
War
else?
4.
Oh yeah, God of War 4. And honestly, I kind of like Hands of Fate better than Hands of Fate's combat mechanic better than that one as well. But yeah, like those freaking they actually, if we look at just things that actually copy Souls, the Surge is bad. Like it's not as bad as Lords of the Fallen, but it's still not the most enjoyable in my opinion. Lords of the Fallen sucks ass multiple ways. Fucking Neo is just Souls, but with a shit ton of stats. No, it's not just Souls. It's Souls Light with a shit ton of stats. Neo 2 is just Neo, but more of it. Freaking The Stranger of Paradise is just Neo. Like not even more of it, just Neo.
Yeah. Neo, but less of it.
Neo, but more chaos.
Yeah, there you go. Neo, but more crawling in my skin.
Yeah. Godfall didn't actually directly copy Souls. Godfall copied God of War 4 and copied it pretty much to the T, which means that it's also bad, in my opinion. Like, no, Godfall is worse because God of War 4 is not a fucking like online focus. Like it's not trying to also be Overwatch at the same time, or Destiny, I guess. But yeah.
Yeah.
What other Souls games are like, quote unquote Souls games? Like, I mean, freaking Souls likes are there?
Honestly, I don't keep a whole lot of track of the Souls knockoffs. I tend to just roll my eyes at them and move on.
I mean, I would do the same if becoming Souls like also hasn't infected like other games, like actual video games, that are not just completely fucking cash-ins.
Much to say, honestly.
Like honestly, I did think about this for a bit, and I think the only way I could like Souls is if it actually was just like fucking like dark fantasy Devil May Cry with on Dante or on Heaven or Hell difficulty, and that's it.
Eh,
I could maybe enjoy that. I could see myself enjoying that. But like then, because you know it comes down to the thing that we've discussed a lot, where I don't like slow difficulty because it's slow. I like things like Contra where everyone moves fast because I don't know, that makes more sense to me. Like that feels better.
yeah,
It doesn't like it just feels like games are trying to be really fucking hard while also not understanding what makes things actually hard in an enjoyable way. And also they're only trying to copy Souls. Like the only game that I can think of that has come out in the past like 10 years that actually did sort of difficulty. No, there's two. The only two games that I can think of that have an actual difficulty to them, and it's not so slow difficulty like Souls, are Cuphead and Blazing Chrome. Both of them are trying to fucking resurrect the run and gun genre.
yeah.
So everybody else is Souls. Uh, but yeah, and then
Anything else? Oh, okay,
yes,
okay.
I also played through the entirety of the campaign, I suppose, of Dirt 5.
Dirt 5?
Yes,
What is that?
it's a rally game that's made by EA. It's the 50th installment.
Okay.
It was given away with PS Plus like 3 months back. I claimed it because I
I
was like, why not? And I don't have any other games to play, or didn't.
okay.
I mean, I sort of am the outlier out of the three of us in that I can enjoy racing games, but that's less me actually enjoying racing games and more me forcing myself to play genres that I don't like just to have experience with them so I can talk about them eventually on reviews, more or less.
Play Mario Kart.
I don't have a Switch.
I'm not saying you need to play Mario Kart. I thought you were saying like that I don't play
Oh
racing
no,
games.
oh, it cut off, so it just said you play Mario Kart or whatever. The Discord let
No.
me hear you say play Mario Kart. So I thought you said you could play Mario Kart.
Okay. Yeah, I said I play Mario Kart like with a really high pitched eyes,
Yeah,
and Discord just said fuck off.
yeah, but there's also different tastes of racing games because there's simulation games, there's the arcade racing games, and then there's the kart racers. I have some experience with kart racers because I played Mario Kart 64, and then the last two Sonic racing games. So I guess those count.
Yeah.
And then I also have some experience with the other subgenres of racing games because did play a lot of I did play a lot of Gran Turismo 4, and I also played a bit of Forza 4, and then Horizon 1, 3, and 4, maybe. I don't remember. Whatever. So yeah, those are the sort of the simulation games and the arcade games. And then Dirt, I don't know where Dirt fits. Like that's the thing. I feel like I don't have enough experience with racing games because I can't tell you where simulation racing games end and where arcade racing games begin because they're all the same to me. Like, if there's no Mario going Wahoo in the Mercedes, then it's not a kart racing game, and that's the only thing I know.
Yeah, I mean, like I think I'm probably sure there's lots of stuff for the people who are super into that stuff.
Yeah.
But for me, like it boils down to a lot of can I kill the other racers? It's an arcade racer. Do I have to worry about having a stick shift? It's definitely a simulator racer then.
But yeah, so Dirt 5 gets good points with me because the soundtrack is actually good. Like, I don't know what it is with racing games. Usually they actually have good soundtracks. Usually. Which is to say that I can name you 3 racing games that have good soundtracks, and most of the other ones I can't fucking remember.
Yeah.
Like, Flat Out has a good soundtrack in my opinion. Or Flat Out 2. Freaking But the Dirt 5, as I said, I liked most of the songs in the soundtrack. Gran Turismo 4 also Gran Turismo 4 has a mixed soundtrack, but it has a big enough soundtrack to have enough good shit in it that you'll be fine. Like
Yeah.
the freaking Gran Turismo is where I know Franz Ferdinand from, among others.
Heh.
Yeah. And then funnily enough, Dirt 5 has not one but two songs. Two new songs from bands that I listened to that got released recently.
All right.
Yeah, because they have Trouble Coming from Royal Blood, and they also have uh back Backfoot from Dinosaur Pileup. There's a couple of names, like bad
That's,
names. Yeah,
those certainly are.
yeah. And like even the more um even the more bad songs on the soundtrack, like they're fine for the most part. Like it's like mainstream like pop rap or something like that. I don't even know what to call it. It's just like very processed, not really like borderline EDM rap.
Okay.
I didn't like that one. There's also a song that really wants to be AC/DC, but it's not. I also didn't like that one.
Yeah, I
Or not
can
even.
see
Oh
why.
no, it's not even AC/DC. Shit, it genuinely just wants to be fucking Paradise City. That song just wants to be Paradise City, but it's really not. And I also dislike Paradise City because of
That's
Burnout Paradise.
heh.
But yeah, one thing that I did dislike about the soundtrack though is that there's not enough of it. Like I get that licensing songs takes a lot of money, and there were like I don't know if it's a problem with their shuffle mechanic, because you don't get to choose which songs play, and you don't get to choose when they play. They just play in the background, and then the songs happen. And I don't know if it's bugged, so it only plays like 15 songs, because it seemed like they had 30 or something like that. It was an actually larger amount of songs in the credits than I heard, from what I could tell. So I don't know if something's bugged and it just repeats the same like 15 songs over and over again, or if or for whatever reason they just couldn't get the rights to use them on the menu, but could only use them in like cutscenes or whatever. Either way, it doesn't work. There's not enough songs for the entire campaign, and the campaign is something that has an end. Like the campaign, I played through the campaign like I want to say 7 hours. So that in 7 hours, I heard the soundtrack 10 or 15 times. Like all of the soundtrack that the game actually plays in the races. I don't even want to imagine what it's like playing the game online with those numbers. Cause like,
Flashback to
yeah,
flashback to Mementos and Persona 5 Vanilla.
yeah. Flashback to power is what you mean.
Eh.
But yeah, like that for customization is bad, sort of. I don't know. So it's a lot more restrictive than Forza. Like you can't actually make your own custom like vinyls and stuff like that. Vinyls, sorry, and stuff like that. But at the same time, it's fine. Like it's about it's about on par with freaking with like Most Wanted, from what I can tell. When it comes to customization. Well, no, not really, because you can't actually customize the cars. You just apply vinyl or not. It's weird in that way. And the actual driving, it sure is drift focus. That's it. That's my that's my freaking thoughts about the steering. It seems like it was built for drifting. Yup, that's rally for you. Like it was kind of funny going from playing Sonic and All Stars Racing, where drifting is a main game mechanic that need to play around, to playing this game where drifting is a main game mechanic that you need to play around.
Heh.
What else is there for me to actually really say about that game? I don't know. It's all right. Like I didn't hate it. It was something to break up the monotony of fucking just I don't even know like fighting games and Assassin's Creed, pretty much. Counting Ghost of Tsushima on an Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, so that and then I guess what else happened in during the week? Well, I did have a gig, as I said off recording.
Yeah.
I got called back to my school to do their video stuff again, which because my mom is now working as a teacher assistant properly. Like I don't even know how. I don't know exactly um how I could actually describe what her job is because her job is just pretty much like be like student relations more or less,
An advisor?
kind of, yeah. Like she has to plan or she will have to she didn't have to do it for this one yet because she's fresh, but in the future she will have to plan out like events and stuff like that, and also make sure that the students are happy, and then also the teachers are happy, and the students are learning and stuff like that, and then also
That's
go yeah go ahead.
that's kind of like a vice principal job,
Yeah,
honestly.
yeah, and then she also has to go into classes sometimes and then help out there.
I remember the high school I went to, it was a quite large one, so there were 4 vice principals, and I distinctly remember how they had things arranged so that one vice principal would be the friendly one that the students loved, and there was one who clearly everyone expected to be more the ball buster, but he didn't necessarily enjoy being the ball buster all the time, but then sometimes he did, that kind of
Yeah,
situation. Anyways, back to what you were saying, the gig.
yeah. So yeah, um, because of that and how since I've left the school, it's been um slowly deteriorating. I guess is the best way to put it in its attendance. They figured, hey, well, because the thing is, they hired new marketing people, but they didn't do the job. I guess they haven't shown up for a while, and suddenly they just asked for me. They asked for me to come back in. So who knows what's up? Or they did,
That's generally not a good sign when the guy that you paid just stops showing up, yeah.
yeah. Also, bless you if you sneeze. I couldn't tell.
I did not sneeze, I spit water
Ah,
because you said that the people just didn't show up.
I mean, I don't know what's up. Like they might have been fired. I know that my mom hasn't seen them in a while, and that's pretty much all
It
I
would be
know.
nice if they were fired and not still collecting paychecks.
Yeah. But so basically now we're doing a thing where um I will hopefully have one-off gigs uh for pay, doing the same thing that I did for my tuition, and then also maybe get hired as an actual like you know guy, like a
Yeah,
camera guy for the school. I don't know how like the thing is I don't know if they actually can hire me as a camera guy because like they could properly they could probably hire me as like an independent contractor because
yeah,
that makes sense for a school to do to hire someone to do their marketing. I don't know if they actually can hire me as a staff properly because I don't know if I don't know if the government would let schools actually hire people to do marketing properly on staff. either way,
yeah.
either way, I'm looking to get paid. That's about it. Like I don't really care. I don't really care about the proper things. Like as long as my taxes are paid and fucking I get money, I'm fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, we like I went into this not actually having discussed the money because it was an emergency more or
I mean,
less.
no
Yeah.
matter what, like an entry level position can always lead to stuff later on. Not even necessarily at that school, but somewhere else, because you never know how things tend to link up.
Yeah. funnily enough, this gig did lend me something. So, it was through the school, but, they, like, we were apparently, they did not tell us, but apparently we were striking, and, uh, for that, they had, like, what they call a democracy day, where they had a university lecturer and a person who writes a person who writes newspapers. I don't actually remember the proper name of the job. Shit. Whatever.
Journalist?
Yeah, a journalist. Maybe even the guy may also be like an editor, like like I don't know if he would be a chief editor, but he seemed like he has an actual name. I just haven't heard of him. But you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they had a journalist dude and they had a lecturer talk about democracy and the war that's going on and stuff like that. And I had to record and take pictures of that. And apparently, the school they had us deal with the school where we would send pictures and they would choose some and they would be in the papers. So one of my pictures may be in the newspapers.
Sweet.
Yeah, it's not a national thing. It's a this city thing, but still, it's a start.
Well, Miskolc is one of the biggest cities in Hungary, isn't it?
Yeah, I think
That's
so.
pretty big.
Yeah,
Yeah, Hungary's a pretty big place.
I don't know. It did, whenever I look at it on a map, it seems like nothing, really.
I mean, Europe is geographically quite small. Culturally, it's large, though, and within Europe itself, Hungary is geographically large.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I was better geography. But yeah. So that we had a funny discussion about the pay with the so some of the teachers because it did come up, but it wasn't with the principal, so you know it's not official. But they were like, "Hey, what's your going rate for this?" And I said like $2 because it didn't seem like too much. Like you know the school is having financial troubles and they would need more kids. So I'm trying to keep that in mind while I actually figure out what money I will ask for if they ask me how much money I want for it. But yeah, so I was like $2 seems fine. And they're like no that's too that's freaking that's not enough.
Shit, at that rate, can you do my bar mitzvah?
You know they were just like ask for more. And then, and then they fucking they hot potato
Fine,
number.
it's settled. $2 and a sandwich.
They hot potato the numbers and it came out to $7.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean that doesn't seem like much, but you have to consider that the freaking minimum wage over here comes out to like, whew, fucking maybe $3. Yeah,
yeah.
at least if I remember correctly, but I don't know. Either way, uh, getting out there actually cost us a bit of money. Like getting the recording stuff out there, and also me, I suppose, and stuff. So if they ask me the money, I will have to ask for $7 regardless, just because $70 would actually cover the travel costs, whereas $2 would or 20 would not.
Ooh,
Yeah,
yeah.
and then I guess if the school starts going back up, I will ask for actual American minimum wage of $10.
Huh. I don't think it's even $10 anymore. I think it's 15, at least in some states.
Ah, yeah, I don't think I would be able to ask for 15. That's an exorbitant amount. Just
Yeah,
for any work really,
yeah,
at least over here.
yeah. Every now and then, whenever politics comes up in my household, Like my mom will say, like, "Oh, they need to stop telling these foreigners that it's the land of opportunity here because they don't understand. It isn't. It's hard here." And every time it's like, "Mom, no, it is the land of opportunity. You don't realize how good we have it."
Yeah. So
Either which way,
so yeah,
yeah. Go
that
on, go on.
all of that stuff happened. That's the thing that I woke up at 3 a.m. for, even though we only needed to be there by 8. I spent 2 hours.
You decide you're gonna walk there.
I spent 2 hours trying to go back to sleep fruitlessly. So when it was just 3 hours, I was like, okay, fuck it. I'm probably not gonna sleep. And even if I am, like, those 3 hours won't really do much.
Yeah.
I was there from I was there from 8 a.m. until 6 p.m., which is 10 hours.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Or at least if I did my math correctly, it should be 10 hours. But yeah.
I hate doing math correctly.
And
Of all
so,
the fucking things Discord can pick up, but when I make like the just quietest little mummers, Discord's like, "Oh, I'm listening."
yeah. But so, yeah, that, freaking all of that. And like, the thing is, I don't know how how I'll count that, because some of that is I had to stay to help my mom clean shit up after the fact. So, technically, like, I guess 2 of those 10 hours may not count towards me actually freaking recording stuff. Here's the thing though, I still have to do editing. And I will
Mhm.
count that because that is part of my work.
Yeah, but of course you don't want to scam them.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, like, I if the editing goes for like 4 hours, then I will, instead of counting those as on top of that, I will just put that in the fucking 10 hours. Also, like, I won't count the cleaning hours. You know,
Yeah,
that makes sense to me.
yeah.
But yeah, oh oh yeah. So during all of this, like, once things settled down, I guess. Oh yeah, we are supposed to do oh, aside from all of these things, I also helped my mom come up with some games that they didn't play because we ran out of time. But we spent the day before being up until, like, I don't know, 10 p.m. with no sleep anyway. No, it was 11 actually. Yeah, 11 p.m. with no sleep anyway.
The sign of a productive day.
Yeah, and freaking uh, I did write a quiz about democracy, and
Well, you made the quiz or you answered a quiz?
I made it.
Oh, like as a game at the event to play?
Yes, and I was proud of some of the
All
questions
right.
because they were actually hard, and they didn't get to be shown off. Some of the answers were so fucking dumb, or I guess some of the possible answers were so fucking dumb that I would have been surprised if some people got them wrong, like chose those because I made them dumb on purpose. Like, the fucking, like, it was, I can recite you one where the first question was, who was the father of democracy? And the answers were Pericles, Cleisthenes, Cleon, or Heracles.
I see.
Yeah, it was that tier of asking things.
I remember at one point, when I was in high school, there was a history class I was in that most of the class really needed help getting their grades up. So for the final test, the teacher changed all the questions to only have two answer slots, and the second answer for every question was Donald Trump.
I see. Somehow
Now,
they
what
still
would
got
have
it
been
wrong.
real tricky What would have been real tricky would have been if there was actually a question where Trump was the answer, but no, he never did that.
Yeah. Who uh,
Who wrote the Constitution? Thomas Jefferson or Donald Trump?
yeah.
Who was assassinated in 1963? JFK or Donald Trump? Who led the civil rights movement?
Who's who
It,
who was Egypt's most famous female ruler? Donald Trump.
Who built
Uh,
the Great Wall of China? Donald Trump. Who passed the Great Wall of China and invaded China? Also Donald Trump.
yeah. He built it just to flex on them.
Who spread the plague to Europe? Donald Trump.
Oh shit.
Donald Trump had to cross the Donald Trump mountains to take his Donald Trumps to kill Donald Trump, but he got surrounded by other Donald Trumps and he had to Donald
No, no,
Trump
no.
his way.
He got surrounded by one Donald Trump.
Yeah,
The singular.
he couldn't handle his girth.
Which
Uh,
okay, yeah.
that's probably how he perceives the world. He probably just sees everything through a lens where everybody's him.
Yeah.
Like the bit in Red Dead 2 of Lenny.
Yeah. I'm just imagining like freaking Vandal military groups include freaking like fucking I'm actually forgetting their names. The Hoplites, the whatever the Spartan equivalent was, because I know that they has an actual name, but I'm just forgetting what it is.
Hoplites. The Roman legionaries.
Oh yeah, the Legionaries, the Hoplites, the Legionaries, fucking like the Vikinger, Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah. Anyway, so uh, after the event, technically, while things were settling down, and we were freaking trying to figure out if there's an actual PC in the building that we could send the pictures to the freaking the journalist guy to the journalist guy from, because freaking the camera is old and has a big SD card. And SD card readers are already.
Yeah.
So yeah, while that was going on, freaking the eventually we found a PC at the at the math teachers. So it was me, the math teacher, the principal, and my mom just standing there, and then freaking while we were waiting for things to download to the or I don't know, would it be a download or upload if I'm copying files from the SD card to the PC?
Upload.
Yeah, so while the files were uploading to the PC, um they started they started no, not that shit. They started having a
The
conversation.
files started.
Yes, the files.
That would be interesting to see the computer like start doing. Like you just start seeing like video file dot mp3 has started getting it on with
Yeah,
another video file. What?
that's how everything is done.
Yeah.
It's actually advanced gene splicing,
Yeah.
but because gene splicing is freaking is so rudimentary for now. We have to do it with baby files, with like freaking file brios. So yeah, anyway, so they start having a conversation, and the principal joking me asked me why I don't have a wife yet, and because of the arguments we've been having at home recently, I was very because of those, and also because I was fucking sleep deprived. I was this fucking close to just telling him that I'm asexual. I didn't,
Well,
thankfully.
that's how you get into a situation where then you have to spend an hour explaining it. And
Yeah, Like my thing isn't that I'm like fucking embarrassed of it or whatever. It literally was just that like thank God that the filter caught it, so we didn't have to spend the next hour freaking sitting there explaining what asexuality is and why it exists and how it exists.
Yeah.
And then I guess since I brought that topic up, there have been some uh advancements. I guess my sister now believes that I'm pan.
Ugh.
Because obviously when I tell you, hey, I'm asexual, I'm not attracted to anyone, that obviously means I want to fuck everyone whenever possible. But yeah,
Okay.
and then my mom, like, I actually sat my mom down with the fucking with the definition and stuff like that, and had her read through it. And after that, we got to the point where she thinks I'm demi, which I'm not. But hey, or at least that yeah.
What? What is
Uh,
that?
so asexuality is a spectrum where like people's experiences can vary wildly, and it's all tied together by just not experiencing sexual attraction during most cases. Demisexual people are people who can feel a sexual attraction, but only to people who they form a strong emotional bond with.
Okay.
Yeah, and so she thinks that I'm demi, because obviously it cannot be that I just don't care. Like it cannot be that I just don't feel sexual attraction. I just haven't found the one.
Well, here's the kicker is that it's impossible to know in that case until, right?
But yeah, but the thing is, like, if that was a possibility, then I would have at least had romantic, or like I would have I either have had the fucking like, how do I say this? Because I've had multiple chances to actually have girlfriends, and I turned them down every single time.
Well, I don't think what she's saying is like the moment you're dating, it's like, oh, now I want some, like, or even the
But the
idea of
but the
dating, where
way
it's like, oh,
she
but like
says it does sound like that though.
maybe the way she says it, but the way you're phrasing it, it sounds like it's more of a thing of like it doesn't come until later in the relationship.
Maybe. But yeah, the way they've been speaking about it, it's like, oh, you just because you haven't freaking agreed to uh get in a relationship with anyone yet. Then obviously that means that freaking like, obviously that's why you don't find people attractive, because you haven't been in a relationship. Like, no, if I had a fucking drive to be in a relationship, I could have been. Like, they know this because one of the girls, like this, I actually forgot about this. But apparently, you remember the one girl that I keep bringing up, who actually went to my mom to tell her that she finds me cute or whatever. I forget. Turns out
Yeah.
that was a thing, but I was so fucking dense that she told me, and I just brushed her off. So then she went to my mom, and then I just went, okay, what am I supposed to do with this? And that's where it ended.
Huh.
Yeah.
All right.
Like, I'm not saying that was the right way to do things, but at the same time, like, to me, like, okay, obviously, I
You could have been
fucking
more gentle with her. Yeah.
yeah. Oh no, it wasn't a thing of like, there was only one instance where I actually was an asshole to the girl who told me. All the other times, I was literally too fucking dense to notice. Like, it wasn't a thing of I told her straight up that I don't find her attractive. It was a thing of, she told me, and it didn't register. So after
Yeah.
enough of that, she went to my mom, and then when she wasn't there, she told me. Like, my mom told me when she wasn't there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it turned out fine for her in the end, because she got together with her, I think, husband now. So good for her.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, obviously, fucking, like, feelings and the lack of feelings cannot be properly or hardly ever properly conveyed, and it's very hard to convey it, especially the lack of feelings, because I can tell someone that I love them. I can tell someone, hey, I feel completely neutral about you.
Yeah.
But also, like, freaking, but some days I really do question if I'm also fucking aromantic or not, because there's just nothing in me that's like, hey, I need a relationship, and my family is really, or my specifically my mother and my sister are really pushing for me to need to be in a relationship, specifically my sister, and I just don't see the like I just don't see why I need to be in one. Like you
I
you're straight, so I'm fucking asking you because you may be able to tell me.
well, on some level, I can give somewhat of an answer for that question. On some level, I can't because I have not been in a relationship, whereas your mom and your sister have. So there's a layer there that I can't comment on at all. But there is a certain feeling generally that life is part. There are people probably who don't experience this, even if they are, you know, sexual in a way. But there is a certain feeling that life is better if you have someone to share it with, and not just like friends infrequently, but someone who goes most of the time, just about everywhere with you.
Yeah,
And that is something that it would be difficult for a lot of people, especially if they have not heard about this concept until they were in their like 40s, to really comprehend, as it is likely a feeling they have gone the entirety of their life feeling. I can also say that I think I've mentioned this before, so I'm probably just repeating myself, but for a lot of them, they fear the idea of you making a commitment
yeah,
to something that they think you might change your mind about later on. And I know that you, in the position you're in, do not feel that you will ever change your mind about this, that this is just the way you are. And that very well could be the case, and they may not respect that. But as it is, from their position, they see that they think that one of these things, one of the possibilities you can take back, and the other you can't. Because the way they probably figure, you can try to be straight or try to be bi or what have you, and you don't end up with a girl, then you end up ace. Whereas they think that if you actively choose to not pursue a relationship at the age you're at now, they worry that you'll regret it later on. At the end of the day, they are both looking out for what's best for you, at least from the position of what it sounds like, because I've not met them. I don't know what kind of people your mom or your sister are. But it sounds like they just want the best for you and they don't want you to do anything that you'll regret. And particularly as you get older and the more you look back on younger folks, the more that not only do you like want to guide them away from mistakes that you have made in your life, but there are hypothetical scenarios you get in your head, what ifs of what if I had made the wrong choice at this moment? How different would my life look? And those hypothetical what ifs can be a lot scarier than even realities.
yeah. I was going to say something, but I forget what.
Well, if
uh,
Pink were here, he'd diffuse things by making a stupid comment.
yeah. I mean,
Say something
yeah,
about, I don't know, gigantic asses or something.
yeah,
There we go. That's the one. Like, really, Addie, you just need to get through your life until you find a woman or man, what have you, with a gigantic ass, and then you're just set.
yeah. Oh yeah, I know what I was going to say. Like, my thing is that it actually helps looking into the asexual Reddit for me, because I oftentimes see people being like, "Hey, I was wrong, and I'm not actually ace or whatever," and they normalize that too. Like, you can be wrong about this shit, and it can change with time, and I'm fine with that. I mean, it hasn't for the past 7, 8 years. I don't know. Like the time I realized I was asexual was I was 13. I was really right wing, and someone posted something like, how does Tumblr say how does Tumblr sexuality is dropping, and then they just posted a picture of different sexualities and their descriptions, and I read ace, and I went, hey, that's pretty much me. So since then I've been freaking I've been more or less aware of being ace in at least some manner. And like the thing is, if you go back, I never actually kept it a secret. That's why I didn't fucking like I didn't like that's why I kind of treat being ace was less of a thing than being a furry, because the furry thing caught me by surprise too. The ace thing, I've known that shit for 8 years. I've had my time to fucking mull over it.
Yeah.
But yeah, freaking like the thing is, and I have went through that too, and I am still kind of going through some of it. That also has problems with this is that you're pretty much always questioning whether you are actually ace. Like that seems to just be an overall ace thing. Because obviously, like, once again, proving the existence of something is a lot easier than proving the non-existence of it, especially as when it comes to things like feelings. Like, I can't prove that Alex is, I don't fucking know what dumb shit I could make up for feelings. I cannot prove to you that Alex is really into big titty anime girls. I mean, I can. That's
Which
actually
Alex are we addressing here?
you.
Oh, me. Uh,
Yeah, I cannot prove that to you, because mainly we don't have a camera. I am not right next to Alex, and there is no big titty anime girl. But it is also no.
depends on how old they are.
I mean, I don't know. Like, you don't strike me as someone who finds Baiken attractive. Like, Baiken seems like a design
Oh, I
that's
just
a
don't
couple of
comment on it.
all
I just
right.
don't comment on it.
Because I
That's
figured
that's the thing. I
yeah
I just keep it to myself a lot of the time because I don't think it's very classy. I guess because Lord knows I'm such a classy person. Otherwise,
yeah.
I
I
mean,
mean
like, because the other
yeah
day, there, no, not the other day, it was several months ago, but Mike and Pink were asking me, like, what celebrity women I find attractive. And I was just kind of stuck there because it's like, for one thing, just not something I spend a whole lot of time actually thinking about. It's just kind of in the moment, like, oh, yeah, I think she's, good looking. I mean, on top of that, the thing is, like, you guys got to keep in mind a lot of the lens of what you talk to me here on Discord, especially stuff like that, is like, there are probably people listening to me through the walls right now. And there's
yeah
stuff that I'm not going to say because I just don't want to make life awkward for them, and certainly don't want to face the oddball questions that would come on through, like, "Oh yeah, you think Alexander Daddario has great tits, huh?" Like, yeah, uh huh, yeah. Pink and Mike make for interesting conversationalists. Let me tell you,
yeah
like it's just people are very complex with these things. Is generally the rule.
yeah
And for people who do experience these feelings, it can be a very sacred thing, whether it's emotionally in terms of connection to another human being or emotionally in terms of just they thrive on that feeling, right? Because you can ask Mike, and Mike will rant to you for 10 hours about just how much he loves how Alexa Bliss gives him an erection or something, right?
yeah.
Perhaps I'm making that sound a little too weird, but
No,
and
he will do it.
so
I know, because he's done it before.
that is true, yes. The so for someone to hear that someone else does not share that same feeling, it can get weird, and you can just observe that just off of forum talks that have happened in the past of guys on the forum disagreeing about that kind of thing. And like before, like what Mike saying, I think Jennifer Lawrence is hot, and then someone else steps up and says, I don't think Jennifer Lawrence is hot, and then it gets to this weird thing where the two will get like super into arguing about this, and it's like, guys, it's a subjective thing. You don't have to find the
Yeah.
same traits attractive, you know?
No, but if we dislike, or if we don't like the same traits, then the freaking then it means that my biology is working bad, or something like that.
I I don't know exactly why it is. I'm sure there are some instances where it's like self-doubt, but I think a lot of it also comes down to there are some people, especially like Mike and to a lesser degree Pink, who view their own sexual attractions as sacred, and so they find it very strange and alienating to find someone who does not share those same opinions.
I don't know. Mike, I can see. Pink, I think does it as a joke. Like Pink does it to troll.
I think that's got to be at least partly true. But I think with Pink, it's also difficult to say because Pink filters every one of his takes through a bit of meme, right?
Yeah,
Which is why, like, Pink never picks fights with anyone directly, but you always parse through what Pink says, and every now and then you can notice the smart assing someone,
yeah.
right? And
Well, no,
there's
I
got to be at
can.
least twice on recording where Pink has made a joke about me, and at first I don't notice it, and I start laughing, and then I go, "Oh, hey, motherfucker!"
Uh, I actually do have a problem with parsing what Pink says sometimes because freaking like, yeah, I just have a problem with freaking like what's the word, intent. But yeah,
Pink does not speak as often as you or I do, but he puts a lot more thought into what he says.
yeah,
So you and I are not different, not used to that because you and I both speak very surface level. Whereas Pink tends to interweave what he's saying into a single sentence, oftentimes. Not to say that Pink doesn't also have his stinky meme moments, but like Pink has more of a tendency to try and layer things out, especially like when he's doing posts on the forum, right?
yeah.
As opposed to some people who just post whole fucking paragraphs.
But yeah,
Uh,
where was I? So yeah, like there's some weird parts to being ace that are hard to process even if you are in it, and like a big thing, and this is something that I had trouble with until last year, is feeling like you're wrong. Like, do you remember how I said that freaking how do I put this without freaking giving too much detail? Because you don't need the detail. It's fine. I mean, it,
uh,
the thing is like,
what I'll say is when you're confused by attraction to something or possible like even just like vague feeling of something like that, like unless it's something like really morally repugnant, which thank God I've not
oh
been
no, I'm
exposed to
not
any
talking about
sexual
that
any
stuff.
attraction to it,
I'm not
but
talking about that stuff. I'm just saying that let me put it this way. There's a good reason that I am sex repulsed, and that reason is not as serious as most other people's, but at the same time it did make me hate myself just as much. Which, yeah, we'll come back to that, I guess, in a way, but also freaking maybe, but yeah. But also is a thing that originated from this feeling of being wrong, because obviously I cannot be ace because that's unnatural. I need to be either straight or gay or anything between those two, but I cannot be the exclusion of those.
like it's just generally like awkward to try and apply a tag to yourself. I think
Yeah,
to try and put yourself in a category
yeah. I
because
mean,
I mean like
yeah. Go ahead.
for I can be a bit more understanding of like if Mike or Ted are like super like, oh, I'm straight, because back in their day that was like a serious identity thing and part of just being a man, and they value their self identities as men and as straight men. But like beyond that, putting yourself in the corner doesn't actually mean so much nowadays. At least in the West, or at least here in the States. Can't speak for how it is in Hungary.
Yeah, I wouldn't know either because I don't speak with people, or at least over here. Like,
Well, in that case, it don't matter.
yeah, I mean,
It
like my
definitely don't matter.
like the only Hungarian people that I willingly speak with are my family, and that's it. But yeah, like I've been wanting to move out of this country for the past like 12 or 13 years. I have removed myself from Hungary as much as possible without actually physically leaving so far. But yeah, but uh, like there's also things that I get why they are like confusing to understand, especially for straight people, because like for usually is how I can put it. Usually, the different sorts of attractions that people have decided to rip apart to make sure that things are understood in the spectrum and stuff like that. Like those work together for straight people, or like, okay, I'm gonna use the term. I don't like the term because it seems like it's dumb, but it's a term for a reason, I guess. But there is a term that people made for people who feel sexual attraction. That's it. 90% of the world, 99 actually, is allosexual, is what they call it. I don't like the term because it feels like, on one hand, it feels unnecessary to me, but at the same time, it is kind of necessary because the opposite is a mouthful. I don't
Does it
know.
imply that we fuck aloe?
What?
Does it imply that we fuck aloe?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know the origins or the actual the like
Or
direct.
alligators? Oh God!
Yeah. Every person who feels sexual attraction wants to fuck alligators. You heard it here first, folks.
99% of people in the world will only fuck alligators.
Yeah. That's that's the fucking lizard people programming people.
No!
Uh. So yeah, where was I before the alligators? Shit. Uh. But yeah, so for people who are allo, the like those feelings work in tandem. So it's the thing is, like I got back to the topic. I don't remember where I was going to end this. Like I don't know what it was supposed to lead into something, but I don't know what there is anymore because it's all alligators in my head now.
Well, the
Shit.
alternative is beats in your head.
Yeah. Uh.
Pizza in your head.
Yeah. There there is pizza in my head. Yes. Uh. Fuck. Oh yeah, I know. So yeah, a weird thing that even for ace people is hard to accept sometimes is that freaking uh obviously, like, people's hormones don't give a shit even if though they don't feel sexual attraction per se. So as I've said last week as well, I think libido and sexual attraction are separate. Now let me introduce you to a form of hate yourself any percent speedrun tactic. Because let me tell you, being a sex repulsed asexual and also having a normal to high freaking libido sounds like hell. And of course, I'm totally not talking from experience. Uh,
Okay.
yeah. I've read so many people fucking complain about that shit. But yeah, I guess the freaking way to end this discussion, because I don't know, like there's so many things that I want to talk about. At the same time, we don't have time, and I don't fucking remember half of them. So like I remember wanting to speak about things. I don't remember what the things were. That makes it hard to discuss them.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, to
Oh
tell
yeah.
the truth, I'd also prefer that like it get brought out while someone else is around because I'm not super talkative about this stuff.
Yeah,
You know.
it's a hard thing to talk about, and you don't want to freaking rush it, I guess.
But if there's anything I know, if there's anything hard to talk about, find Mike and he'll show you how.
Yeah.
He'll get fucking Mike will tell you more about asexuality than you do.
Yeah.
And then after an hour of it, and then for some reason it turns into Al Pacino. Where are we going?
Oh no, he misread it. He thought it said asexuality.
It's Al.
That's why you only want to fuck people named Al. They're,
When
they're,
you only want
it's,
to fuck Al Pacino. Oh no,
no,
God.
no, it's their flag. Their flag is actually just a picture of Al Pacino and Al Bundy.
Yeah. Nobody wants to fuck Al Bundy.
Outside of
Except
his wife.
Peggy.
Yeah, Peggy.
Yeah.
But yeah. So yeah, to end that discussion, freaking I suppose my thing is just like I wish that my family were able to accept that I don't really want a freaking a relationship, especially not right now. Like eventually, if I can if I go into therapy and I get to a point where I can actually talk with people again, like I used to when I was 8, maybe I'll consider it then. But until then, just fucking rushing into a relationship for the sake of rushing into a relationship seems like more of a hassle than it's worth. Especially since just like keeping relationships going also seems like more of a hassle than it's worth. If that makes sense.
I guess no comment. I guess no comment is the only way I can respond to that.
So yeah, how about your week?
Things this week, but I smell bean dip, so I want to rush through it as quick as possible. Hey, played Warhammer 3. Still like Warhammer 3. I did played a lot more Warhammer 3. It was good. Elden Ring. Elden Ring came out. Elden Ring does a lot of fun stuff. I'm not entirely sure what's going on with the lore yet. The lore is lots more sparse than other Souls games. That's very surprising. They do a lot of stuff that's very fun and weird, though. At one point, you run into a giant turtle who's the Pope. He's very friendly and he teaches you how to do magic.
Ah,
Uh,
just wait until he's the final boss of the game and you have to fist fight him.
There's a breed of goat that runs around in the open world, and rather than running away from you, they tuck their head between their legs and roll away from you at high speeds.
Ah,
It's pretty well. It's almost like they're doing a much slower version of Spin Dash. Honestly,
nice.
they solved a lot of the Souls problems with this game. I actually want to remark on the parrying thing real quick because you brought it up with Mortal Shell. So they tried to solve the parrying problem. So they made it. They brought over what I think is an innovation from Sekiro, which is that every enemy, bosses included, have a stamina or stagger or poise or whatever you want to call it mechanic. And for every hit they take a little bit of poise damage. Whenever they take a jumping heavy attack, they take a lot of poise damage. When they get hit with a fully charged heavy attack, they take a shit ton. And if you parry them, they take a load. So what this means is that now several bosses in Elden Ring can be parried without being complete jokes, because now how it works is you need to parry several attacks in order to stun them. So it's not, parrying against bosses is still valuable, but it doesn't turn bosses into a complete joke like it did in Dark Souls 1.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's really nice. Mounted combat is really nice too. Lots of creativity in the game world. It's really nice. Okay, that out of the way. Comic books. Read a
Do you
lot of old comic books
do you,
this
do you wanna
past week.
argue about freaking Horizon Zero Dawn's design aspects against Elden Rings? Because that's the
I
fuck
have
thing to
not
do.
been I have not been paying attention to that.
I mean,
All I heard was Western developers are mad that they have to put a lot of work into making games accessible nowadays, and Souls is successful because it is not accessible at all. I think that is oversimplifying the issue, though I think there is an interesting idea to talk about there. I am not going to take the time to talk about it right now. So American comic books, yes. Read comic books, yes. Okay. So read, I read a fair bit of the stuff up to about 1966. There's definitely an increase in quality a little bit over time. For one thing, Jack Kirby didn't have to do the art on all the comics anymore. They brought in Don Heck to draw some stuff. Brought in Steve Ditko to draw some stuff. Not a huge fan of Don Heck's art. Steve Ditko's art is ghoulish. Uh, It is interesting to see with Jack Kirby's art how like this kind of period definitely seemed to be the inspiration for Mike Mignola's art, which I like because I love Mike Mignola's art. There we go. I mostly put in a lot of reading on Avengers. I gotta say, one thing that cracked me up, I've always thought of Captain America as being one of Marvel's big examples of not killing. Right? I always figure, like in Marvel, Spider-Man and Daredevil are the two superheroes that are most associated with not killing in Marvel. But I always
yeah.
figured Captain America was a bit on the not
Oh
killing side
shit!
too, right?
Speaking of Daredevil, I just wanted to point this out because I found it really funny. In the election comic of Captain America that I read, there's a group of panels of people reading the news of Captain America going for president, and one of them is Daredevil.
Uh, that that is that seems really dumb, but as silly as it is, Daredevil has such a refined sense of touch that he can read like even non-braille print by just running his hands and feeling the ink.
Oh, that's dumb.
The thing is, like, that all of Daredevil's senses except sight were massively heightened. So, like, even taste, like he explicitly says in the very first comic. I read the first Daredevil comic. He explicitly says that if he eats a pretzel, he can count the amount of grains of salt on the pretzel. His sense of taste is so heightened.
Ah, alright.
So it's
If it's not
honestly like just
yeah,
Daredevil has absurd ultra senses on all fronts except sight.
yeah. Alright, that's fine then. If it was just touch to freaking to wave away being able to read normal print, that would have been really dumb.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, Either which way, let's see. What was the right? What was I saying? Right. So yeah, I was associated Captain America as not a killer. I'd heard that he'd killed a couple characters in comic books. Okay, yeah, Captain America is very much not anti-killing in the comic books. They bust him out of the ice, and he pretty well jumps out of the fucking ice, going, "I'm gonna fucking kill Heinrich Zemo!" And everyone's like, "Okay." Then for the first 10 issues of Avengers, every week it's Heinrich Zemo has assembled the Masters of Evil. And every single time they do, Captain America's just going, I'm gonna fucking kill Zemo. Everyone else leave Zemo alone. I'm gonna kill him. Which I figured even then, okay, well, maybe, this is the 60s. The Comic Code Authority is still in place. So maybe Iron Man and Thor will just hold Cap back every time. No, Thor's like, all right, go get him, Buster. Yeah, rip his head off. It'll be fun.
I mean, Thor.
And then you have a Cap.
I mean, if the old Thor was more based on the Norse one, then I guess I could see it.
Yeah.
Like the Norse god Thor doesn't seem like he would care. Comic book Thor maybe.
Comic book Thor's a killer. I know that one for certain. He's definitely killed some people. But they have the mid issue 14 or 15 or something like that. I don't know. The comic ain't been running for too long, honestly. But they have this issue where Captain America chases Zemo all the way back to South America, drops a fucking boulder on him, dead. Zemo is just dead. The next issue starts with Cap burying his body. And that's one of the only comic book deaths that is stuck. Zemo has been dead since 64.
I was kind of hoping the next comic would start with Captain America licking the blood of the boulder just to make sure.
Yeah. I can't be for certain it's him until I taste his blood. Oh. Yeah, the so yeah, Captain America's just like, yeah, I killed Zemo. Woo! Now what? And the Avengers disband more or less. Like, well, honestly, what happens is Thor fucks off and just doesn't come back. I've read up now to issue 30, so like a year of comics later, Thor has still not come back and explained to the Avengers why he just fucked off one day. Iron Man, Ant Man, Janet, they all are just like, actually, you know what? We need vacations. So they just leave and don't come back.
Yeah,
By the way, I need to
Tony had to leave to become an alcoholic.
yeah, pretty well. I don't think he does come back to the Avengers meaningfully until after Devil in a Bottle. But I need to get this in real quick. Man, I always thought the idea of Hank just being like cockbag supreme, outside of his couple of mental breakdowns, and of course the time where he smacked Janet, I thought Hank just being cockbag supreme was an Ultimate Comics thing. No, Hank in the 616 is a just god awful person.
Yeah,
Like, wow. Like he is just pretty well just introduced. Like Stan Lee, not a great dialogue writer, not a great writer in a lot of regards, honestly. But Janet is introduced pretty well spending the entirety of the first 15 issues of Avengers. Every time she sees a man, Janet just goes, "Oh, give me some of that action. Oh, give me a slice of that." Oh. And every time she does or even thinks something like that, even a thought bubble, Hank's instant response pretty well is, "Shut up, woman."
yep.
Or like, I hate you, Janet. Anyways, we're still boyfriend and girlfriend.
Yeah,
And
I
he's just
didn't.
constant.
Go ahead. Sorry.
You go ahead and get your thought out real quick.
All right. Then I can vouch for this because I did read the first Avengers comic, and
Yeah, he's just a
and
cockback.
you remember how they introduced
Are they
and
working in the lab and Hank is already yelling at her?
Yes, Janet is getting into costume, and Hank goes on a sexist rant where he's like, "Man, I can't believe women. They always freaking take an hour to dress up. We would already be there and saving Hulk or whatever the fuck they were doing that week. I forget.
I know I should have been gay.
I hate women." That's
Yeah,
what
pretty
Hank
well.
does.
Yeah. So the gimmick for some of the later issues that I've read now is that Hank gets stuck giant and he wants to try and figure out how to get return to normal size. He's working in his lab, and Janet goes in and is like, "Hey, Hank, I can help." And then Hank says, Janet says, "Hey, you need help in the lab, Hank." And then Hank says, "Not from a woman." And Janet just leaves. And they don't ever say that Hank was wrong to do that. Instead, Hank just brings in old Bill Foster to help. And it's just
Oh,
like, Jesus Christ, Stan. Like, it's like
with the
we were talking
setup.
with Mike.
With the setup, I was kind of expecting to Janet to just walk in and just Hank slaps her out of the room.
Yeah, like, well, it's the way they set it up. You expect it to be the storyline is, oh, by the end of the comic, Janet will discover the cure for Hank's gigantism, and Hank will be proven wrong, right? No, no. Hank just yells at her the women don't belong in the lab, and she gets out.
I
It's like
mean, women's rights weren't that big in the 60s yet, I guess.
that is true, and Stan Lee was also a fairly big sexist.
Ah,
And here's the thing: Jack Kirby was an artist on that issue. Jack Kirby was a lot more forward thinking and a lot more progressive than Stan in a lot of in gender issues. And that issue was drawn by Don Heck, so Jack Kirby did not hold Stan back that time.
oh no.
But it reminds me of the Hunter Booker T feud, right? And Hunter telling Booker T, "Your people don't win championships,"
Oh
which you
yeah.
assume is supposed to be the setup to Booker T beating Hunter and proving that black people can win championships. No, Hunter wins. So I guess speaking in terms of storyline logic, Hunter was right to be racist. What? Anyways, Hank is the fucking worst.
Yeah, I
Oh, like
like I people say that he used to be good. I don't see it. Like I've literally seen
no,
the character. I literally seen the character's first appearance, or I've literally seen the character's first appearance in the Avengers. I've also seen him a couple of years later. He is literally the reason Ultron exists.
yeah.
Like there's, you know,
The greatest success of Hank's career, the two greatest successes of Hank's career were introducing Janet to the Avengers, and when he made Ultron, Ultron did eventually make Vision. There you go. Those were the two successes of Hank's career.
yeah. Ah, bloody hell. Like freaking.
Uh,
Like, is there
Hank,
is there genuinely a worse hero than Hank? Like, I mean, that was in a worse person. Because like the only one that I can think of is that one guy from the Watchmen.
a comedian is a awful person.
Yeah.
In terms of ooh, regardless of whether or not they were written to be bad.
No, no. I guess let's narrow it down to people who are supposed to be heroes in most of their storylines, or like people who are usually
Oh,
portrayed as heroes.
then comedian would not count because Alan Moore wrote comedian to be like the worst, most vile superhero ever.
Ah, okay.
Uh,
Yeah,
in terms of
I want actual superheroes who are just really bad people, and because I don't think there is gonna be many worse than Hank.
okay, so that disqualifies Sentry because Sentry was also supposed to be shit. Uh, Pick any of the Avengers that let Carol get kidnapped by that time traveling rapist dude.
Who
Honestly,
who was active then?
Cap would have had to have been around then because what Cap's pretty well been there for all the Avengers. He's
Well, yeah,
like the
but
one consistent element.
I mean, like I feel like Cap would be a bit too naive to stop the time traveling racist rapist dude.
The time traveling racist. I went back in time to call you a cracker.
No, no. Oh, I mean, they could do a time traveling racist storyline now, where like some supervillain would go back in time to call Obama the M word.
I mean, that's pretty well the hate monger, isn't it?
Maybe? I don't know.
Because the hate monger was a villain they had for the Fantastic Four for just a little bit, who had a gimmick. He was running around in a purple Ku Klux Klan costume, and he had a hate ray that just made people hate each other.
Oh,
And eventually, the Fantastic Four unmasked him, and it was literally just like I think an exact clone of Adolf Hitler under the mask.
I see.
Uh,
The Captain America showed up and shot him.
Captain America just leaps in off from off frame with an uppercut.
Yeah.
The moment, like, if Hitler's face just appears for a single panel in a Marvel comic, Captain America appears. Like, even if Captain America was busy with something else, like the Avengers are fighting some other problem on the other side of the globe, and then Captain America just suddenly blinks,
Yeah.
and they're like, "What the hell happened to
No,
Cap?"
it's fine. He does shadow clones.
Yeah, it just Hitler detected. Zunch.
Oh shit. But yeah, so is there any worse than Hank when it comes to actual heroes?
Oh, uh, there's gotta have been a. Ooh, no, I've thought of one. One that you can pretty safely consider partly non-canon for it. In Reginald Hudlin's run on Black Panther, they said that Wakanda has the cure for cancer and is just keeping it from the rest of the world.
Ah, yeah, that's pretty bad.
That one's pretty bad, and that one lumps in a good couple heroes because that's not just T'Challa. That's also
That's also
that's
the Avengers
also
once again.
Shuri. Yeah, well, the Avengers. That's the real fucking brutal part. Because 20 years before that comic came out, there was the death of Captain Marvel, right? And the death of Captain
Which one?
Marvel has an actual the original Captain Marvel,
Ah, okay, yeah,
Marvel.
yeah, 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 yeah.
The death of Captain Marvel, pretty good comic by the way. The death of Captain Marvel, pretty well like the first event comic of Marvel. Really, it was like 81 or 82. But they have an actual scene where Marvel goes and asks Black Panther if the Wakandans have the cure to cancer, and T'Challa says no. But
Boy,
20 years later, they say it does have the cure to cancer. So T'Challa just totally let a fellow Avenger die.
boy.
Yeah. Uh huh.
I mean, I guess you could argue that Wakanda didn't have the cure, and then that may have freaking done nothing in making sure that they get it. But then why
Oh,
wouldn't they? But then why wouldn't they release it?
dude. So the dialogue in the Black Panther comic is it's a tribal gathering, right? It's a gathering of like the chieftains, right,
Yeah.
under T'Challa. And the chief, they're trying to negotiate, like they're trying to say, like we need to give something to America to get them to do whatever we want, right? So they want something from America.
Yeah.
And one of the tribal chieftains suggests maybe it's finally time that we give them the cure to cancer, which implies they've known it for a long time.
Boy, there's no saving that, is there? Shit.
No, no, and you know what? That's the same writer who wrote wrote the T'Challa and Storm marriage. So, needless to say, most writers now consider that whole run non-canon.
Fair enough.
Oh man.
Okay, so that one run of Black Panther and the major run of Hank are the worst, I guess.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's any competitors from DC's side. All Star Batman was pretty terrible, but he was explicitly an alternate universe.
Yeah, I mean, we could just say Injustice Superman, but Injustice Superman is the antagonist.
Yeah, that one's 100% intentionally written to be an asshole.
Yeah.
I'm trying to stick to ones that were not written intentionally to be bad people.
Would
Huh.
I mean, I don't remember. Would that one storyline count with the freaking radioactive spider semen? Did Peter
He didn't
know?
know.
Okay, he didn't
He
know.
didn't know. Uh, there was. Oh, that was also an alternate universe thing. There's got to be a Wonder Woman thing at some point, or a Hawkman thing. Hawkman's a dick, but I don't think Hawkman's the same kind of dick as Hank. This is considered a dick move in Perk people culture.
Yeah. The- which When is Hawkman fighting the Mudman?
Oh, old Hal Jordan. Old Hal Jordan was definitely a dick at some point. Oh, Hal, the pedo thing.
Oh,
Because for a while he was dating that alien girl who was like biologically of age but mentally not.
oh,
Yeah, and that was around the time where Hal did a lot of bad things. Like he had a mechanic that worked on his planes who was an Inuit, right?
yeah,
And his name was Thomas Kamaku. But pardon my French here, Hal always just called him Pie Face.
oh,
That's the 70s era. Hal Jordan is a dumbass era of Hal, by the way. That's whenever people talk about that version of Hal, they will near always be like, yeah, that's just dumbass Hal. That's the run of Hal where he knocks himself out by flying into a billboard. And then later on in the comic, does it again at the same billboard.
nice.
It's so fucking stupid.
So
And of course, they
is
had
that why they replaced Hal with the much better freaking the much better Green
pick a
Lantern?
lantern out of a hat that isn't Hal, and the answer is yes, the better lantern. I'm
Yeah,
sure if Pink or Ted were here, they'd disagree with me because I know Ted's a big Hal fanboy. But yeah, I'm definitely in the lot that feels the Hal's the worst lantern.
yeah. I'm not too impressed by Guy Gardner or Hal. There's the guy whose name I'm
Guys,
yeah.
Guy is great because he's the biggest asshole on the planet, and he was written to be that way.
I don't know. I feel like that works for Booster Gold, but not for Guy.
Booster, well, I think the difference between them is Guy is Booster, is a good guy at heart. He usually is just being an asshole for a deliberate reason. Guy, though, just being such an unmitigated son of a bitch in every way, it then gets very amusing when the other heroes hit them back, sometimes literally. There's, of course, the one time Guy was such a dick that Batman just punched his lights out, and it was later on confirmed he gave Guy brain damage from punching him so hard.
Oh, I see.
which was which is part of why Guy is an even bigger dick afterwards.
Nice. I'm also trying to look up the Green Lantern from or the Green Lantern that I'm thinking of that I like. Yeah, John Stewart. I always forget his name, but yeah,
Yeah, John Stewart. John Stewart definitely would have been the one that you and I grew up with. He was the one in the cartoon.
yeah,
My understanding, very different character in the comics than he was in the show. In the comics, he's very defiant and exuberant and vibrant and so on, more personality esque.
yeah,
Whereas in the show, he's drill sergeant pretty well.
yeah. I don't know. I liked him and I liked Martian Manhunter. So,
Well, of course, Martian Manhunter is an all-time great. Oh,
yeah.
you know who's the real ultimate dick of superhero history?
Who?
Blue Beetle and Booster Gold for denying Martian Manhunter his Oreos.
Yeah.
That my
That needs to. Oh fuck! If I knew how to draw better, I would draw a really scary picture of Martian Manhunter and just title it a Manhunter denied his Oreos.
hang on. I got to pull up one of my favorite all-time comic book art pieces. Oh yeah, this is the one. This is the one. Okay, I'm gonna put this in the general tab because I don't give a shit.
All right, nice.
The look on his face just kills me every
Yeah.
time.
I don't know why, but his face specifically looks like Shrek to me.
It does. It does. I
Oh
like how
shit.
Booster and Blue Beetle don't even look knocked out. They just look like they're full of too many Oreos and now they're having a sugar crash.
Oh shit. I wish Martian Manhunter got to exist again, just in general.
Yeah.
Like I don't know about you, but for me, Martian Manhunter is pretty much the Superman I like because more fun. Usually, it depends.
I think Superman and Martian Manhunter are both great to have together, at least partly as a contrast, right?
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, I don't know. I just really like how he is pretty much like he's better as Superman. Also, he's scared of fire. So
Yeah. Yeah, he's definitely just Superman on steroids in a certain way.
yeah,
It's like, yeah, he's incredibly powerful. Also, there's a weakness that just fucks him up, and it's everywhere.
yeah. Which I think we've discussed this, but that's kind of why I prefer him to Superman, just because they like kryptonite is everywhere, but fire is more logical in being everywhere.
Well, the thing is, Superman's got another weakness. He's weak to magic.
Oh yeah, I always forget that he's weak to magic.
That's always part of the thing. Is like, yeah, Wonder Woman could just kill Superman anytime she wanted. Shazam also can just give Superman trouble without caring. Matter of fact, I think it's pretty well established outside of Injustice, because Injustice is dumb. It's pretty well established. No, Shazam just straight up beats Superman.
Ah, then this does make me interested in whether Superman or Zenyatta would win though. They're not Zenyatta. Fuck, what's her name? Shit.
Zatanna?
Yeah, Zatanna.
I, was, I was thinking like that's a weird matchup, but okay.
Yes, Superman makes a Ken out of Zenyatta. The comic.
Like, are we just throwing Superman into random matchups with any fictional character now?
Yeah, the Superman is
How does
Zatanna.
Superman do against Tony Soprano?
Tony Soprano. Tony Soprano learns how to do like magic, but it's like the fake stage magic, but it still works.
Yeah, I gotta do the gobble magic. Uh, all
So
right.
yeah,
Anyways, yeah, back to the comics I was reading. I'll just try and get through this real quick because
yeah.
I'm hungry and I want bean dip and I love bean dip. Yes, yeah, he kills Zemo, and the other Avengers are all like, "Okay, bye." Because Stanley can't be asked to write characters who are that strong, and especially can't be asked to write multiple characters who are that strong on one team. So he gets rid of all of them and replaces them with the weakest heroes he could think of at the time: Hawkeye, Scarlet Witch, and Quicksilver. Which is just immediately on its face hilarious because all three of those guys are ex-villains,
Ah,
starting the long running tradition of the Avengers roster being made up of a load of villains, which is just weird. Like, so much of the Avengers roster started off as bad guys. Anyways, and it's annoying at first because he writes them a lot like he wrote Fantastic Four. See, the trouble with Stan's early writings on Fantastic Four is that more often than not, he starts every comic for the Fantastic Four and all those comics for Avengers seem to go through the same patterns of writing for Stan, which is story starts, the characters are arguing, and either Human Torch tries to kill Thing, Thing tries to kill Human Torch, Thing tries to kill Mr. Fantastic, and then one of them gets captured by the villain, and the others have to go off and save him. Oh no, they're all captured by the villain. Villain accidentally defeats himself. Okay, now we're Avengers. It's the exact same goddamn formula, except instead it's Hawkeye tries to kill Quicksilver, or Quicksilver tries to kill Hawkeye, or Hawkeye tries to kill Captain America. And it's just like, what the hell?
the big
Like,
difference
it's
between the
just,
Avengers and the Fantasy Four is that there's less Silver Surfer in the Avengers.
yeah. So yeah, it's Stan's way of just writing heroes at this time was to make the most immature, arrogant, envious, petty people possible. Because it always starts off with just a one little simple stupid joke. A hero makes another hero's bleh, expense, and that hero who receives the joke in response goes, "I'm gonna fucking kill you," and then they try to kill each other, which is just like tired the first time, but my God, Stan, every comic, really? But it does get better around like
That reminds me of the Simpsons thing. You know when Bart is doing the spinny fist and they
if you walk into this, if you get hit by this, it's I don't even remember what Bart says. It's something like it's no one's fault but yours or something like that.
yeah. But
Oh,
I may be mixing it up, but I was thinking of the one where they're both like Bart and Lisa are fighting, and Lisa's thinking Bart will go for this because he always goes for that, and then Bart goes that thing. It always works.
they're doing rock, paper, scissors, yeah.
Okay,
Poor
yeah.
predictable Bart always picks rock. Good old rock, nothing beats that.
Yeah, I feel like that's you and Stan. Poor predictable Stan. Always makes the main characters argue. Main characters arguing always works out.
Yeah. But yeah, around issue 30 though, things do get better because they have a scene of Hawkeye pretty well going. Goddamn, why am I such a dick? And that's the thing Stanley has always been good at. Stanley has lots of flaws in his writing, and whenever Pink comes back around the podcast, I feel like that's going to be a whole thing we'll talk about. But Stanley has always been good at writing character like insecurities and stuff like that. Like the best moments I've seen in these comics has been the moments where Hawkeye sits and thinks to himself, "Why am I such an asshole? Why can I not help myself? Why do I always have to just be a problem for so many people?" And it's like, yeah, that's actually a pretty reasonable like insecurity for like even a superhero to have. It brings them down to earth, makes them sympathetic. Captain America has the same thing. Captain America has a whole scene where he's just wandering through the Avengers mansion alone and thinking to himself, like, wow, Steve Rogers isn't really a person anymore. I'm just Captain America all the time. I don't have friends or family or anyone. I'm really just more of an idea than a person. And that one's also pretty brutal.
Yeah,
That one you absolutely get because, like, yeah, Cap doesn't really have a secret identity or any of that shit on the side. He's just Cap. That would suck. So either which way, they're getting better. So Stan's getting better, or maybe it's just the Stan's getting out of the way and letting Don Hack write more of it. It's difficult to tell with Stan.
Stan from now on is only writing Hank.
Yeah.
Hank needs to say true.
Only Stan knows how to handle Hank properly.
Yeah,
One thing I gotta say, Stan Lee loves his narration boxes, right?
yeah,
And one thing Stan loves is anytime a character shows up that was from another comic, Stan always cites it at the bottom of the panel. It's like, oh, you can. This guy first showed up in Spider-Man number 15 or whatever, right? So the past several comics I've read, Stan's just gotten lazy. And it's like, here's the Beetle asterisk, and then you go to read the asterisk at the bottom of the panel, and Stan just goes, "I don't remember what issue this guy debuted in. He was something in Spider-Man. I don't know. You go look it up, asshole." And it's like, thanks, Stan. What do we do without you?
that's great. I mean, to be fair, if I was in Stan's position, eventually I would just start fucking with people through that. Like here's the Beetle. The Beetle first appeared like and they put an asterisk, and the asterisk just says the Beetle first appeared in like Avengers number 25, but the one you're reading is 23.
Yeah. Dude, that would actually be kind of a cool gimmick to do with like Kang or another time traveling villain. And like you get to that issue and they're actually fighting a past version of him.
Yeah,
Then you get an asterisk. Kang will first appear in Avengers 25. This is him after he time travels at the end of the issue.
yeah. Uh,
Uh,
oh yeah, there was one thing wanted to put. I just remembered suddenly, uh, because of the comics talk. There was one thing I wanted to point out, which was that even though I never fucking saw Namor, I saw Namor in the Captain America comic, and I was like, "Is that fucking Namor?" And it was, and I was really surprised
yeah,
by being able to tell him apart immediately.
he's just naked all the time.
Yeah,
Yeah, like anytime I see Namor on panel or in anything in Marvel, nowadays they make Namor wear pants and a vest. But prior to the 2010s, anytime Namor appeared in anything, I just thought of that bit from SpongeBob when Plankton and Krabs switched lives. And of course, gigantic naked Mr. Krabs comes in, and Plankton just goes, "But what? What does he say? Like Bart Neptune, he's naked." and the camera just pans out to the full body shot of naked Mr. Krabs. Like I just think of that every time I see Namor. You know.
Yeah. Uh,
Either which way, I think that's about the extent of what I got to say. I mean, I've read a bit of Spider-Man, but most of what I have to reiterate there is goddamn Spider-Man. Peter Parker is a dick in the comics, or at least in those early comics. They have a bit where Flash Thompson gets caught cosplaying Spider-Man by Doctor Doom, who thinks that he's the real Spider-Man, so he kidnaps him.
nice.
And Doctor Doom announces on the news, "Hey, Fantastic Four, come here and get your asses kicked by me, or else I'll kill Spider-Man." Right? And the
Doctor
other,
Doom appears in freaking in Times Square. People of New York, I've come to make an announcement. Spider-Man is a bitch ass motherfucker. He pissed on my
yeah,
wife. My wife. If the Fantastic Four doesn't come to my come to freaking I'm forgetting the name of this country.
Latveria.
Yeah, Latveria. If the Fantastic Four doesn't come to Latveria, I will piss on New York, and the droplets
Yeah.
will destroy all of you.
uh, so, but the other high schoolers figure out immediately, oh, that's just Flash wearing a costume. That's not the real Spider-Man.
How did
And for
they
whatever
know?
reason, they decide. Yeah, yeah, that's what I was thinking. How do they know? And for another thing, for whatever reason, they decide to bring it to Peter and ask Peter for help. And it's like, why would Peter be any help? He's a bookworm, pencil neck geek, as far as any of them know. How would he be able to beat Doom? They
Like,
bring it up with Doom. They
yeah, go
bring it
ahead.
up with Pete, and Pete, of course, goes, "Hey, I didn't like Flash, anyways." And then it cuts to inside Peter's mind, and a thought bubble goes, "Oh man, this is awesome! I hate Flash. I can't wait for Doom to kill that fucker."
Going to the geek
Uh,
would make sense, but only for Superman, because Superman had a thing where people would have to tag Clark Kent to call Superman for a while.
well, yeah, that makes sense. And for later versions of Peter, that makes sense because everybody knows, well, Peter's in contact with Spider Man because he takes pictures of him. But like at this point, it hasn't been established yet, or at least for anyone other than J. Jonah Jameson. But like just the sheer audacity of a panel of Peter going, "Man, sweet, can't wait for the Fantastic Four to not show up."
Yeah, that's and then, and then right after that picture, there's a picture of the sky with Uncle Ben superimposed that just says, "Yes, Peter, kill them all."
Good, Peter, good.
Yeah. And Uncle Ben is actually Uncle Ben is secretly the symbiote.
It's been there the whole time.
Yeah,
On the moon. Oh, wait, didn't the symbiote actually did come from a spaceship that John Jameson was driving, flying, whatever, didn't it?
I think so. I'm not sure.
John Jameson the third. Kind of thing, it took them a long time to introduce JJJ the first, kind of, and they just introduced him for May to marry him for like a few years, and then he died, right?
I don't know.
Either which way, there was a span of time in the comics, which I gotta admit, like I don't know how much Spider-Man I'm actually gonna read because there's a lot of Spider-Man. But I am very tempted to at least read the little span of time where J. Jonah Jameson and Peter were, for all intents and purposes, brothers-in-law.
Yeah. I mean,
Or no,
yeah.
stepbrothers. Excuse me, stepbrothers.
Oh,
There we go.
oh no.
Because I mean, Peter's. Well, yes,
No,
yeah.
no,
There you
no,
go.
no, 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 no. It's not. It's nothing like that. But like that, my mind immediately went to
No,
freaking.
I know where your mind went. I know. I'm aware.
But just imagining fucking I'm
Well,
forgetting the
Aunt
actors.
May isn't like none
Yeah.
of them are really wealthy enough to afford a washing machine, and J. Jonah Jameson's not going to let Peter near that.
But I mean, true. But I was imagining fucking. I'm forgetting the actor's name, but the guy who is Jameson in the Maguire films. Uh,
Yeah, J.K.
Simmons maybe.
Simmons. Thank you. Yes, thank you, Simmons.
Yeah, I was imagining him going, stepbrother, what are you doing?
Yeah,
Like in the same tone that he says, "Are you serious?" in that one clip.
yeah.
Oh shit.
Oh god. I mean, technically not stepbrothers, because technically Peter's not May's kid, but he is.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was the same period of the comics, I think, where Spider-Man beat up Norman in Times Square, right? And Norman was down on the ground, and it was like, "Oh, Spider-Man's finally beat him." And J. Jonah Jameson just comes up out of the crowd with a Desert Eagle and puts it up to Norman's head. And Spider-Man has to be like, "Oh, jeez, fuck, come on!"
Nice.
I just love the idea of J. Jonah Jameson just being like, "All right, well, Spider-Man, you're too much of a pussy, so I'm gonna end this. All right, here we go."
If you're
I mean, that's the inevitable question you always have to wonder with characters like Norman or Joker who get away with it so often. Is like somebody at some point's going to shoot that guy.
yeah.
Like there's going to come one day where Gordon is finally sick of it and he's just a few days away from retirement to begin with. So he's just like, all right, that's it, Joker. Bang. Reminds me of the Punisher Batman crossover comic they did, where at one point Punisher pins Joker down in an alley. And Joker's like, oh, yeah, all right, now let me go. Do your usual superhero business. Punisher just pulls out a gun, and Joker's eyes get real wide, and he just goes, oh, shit, you're serious.
If you're gonna be skipping through the Spider-Man comics, I can recommend to you one story, which is called Happy Birthday. That was apparently the second series of Spider-Man, the Amazing Spider-Man, or something like that.
Yeah, I'm kind of confused by that because they like say that Amazing Spider-Man ends in '98, but I have to imagine it gets picked back up at some point.
Yeah, it seems like it was picked up around the 2000s from the art, because the art is very like late 90s, early 2000s. So
Yeah.
I don't know, but yeah, that story is that story matters because it hasn't been completely decanonized yet, and it's weird
Is
because
that not the one where it turns out May is actually Pete's mom?
no, that's the one where Spider-Man fucks shit up with Dormammu and then sends both him and Doctor Strange through time, including
Did
the
they not?
yeah.
Is this not story not part of the basis for No Way Home then?
It may be, yeah. But yeah, the part that is weird to me, that's still not completely not uncanonized, is they also go into the future to Spider-Man's death. And
Oh,
yeah,
okay, go on.
yeah, and then there's a costume. Oh, there's like this comic matters to me just because it has it was the basis for for one of my favorite costumes in the Spider-Man PS4 game. But it really is just like trashback Spider-Man. Like it's just hey, here's normal clothes with a Spider insignia, and then also a mask.
Oh, is this the Spider-Man that dies in a shootout with the cops?
Yes,
Okay. I've
yeah.
heard about this. Yes.
Yes, I feel like you should read that one, partially because it's technically still canon from what I can tell, and also because uh like it is just an interesting thing to have Peter go through time while arguing with freaking Doctor Strange.
All right. Well, with all that out of the way, I believe we can probably call that a podcast.
All right.
I got Bean Dip waiting for me. You want to say bye? Huh? 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 Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Bye.